Last time on Square Roots, Kieran visits his grandma, Carivius gets tired of waiting, and Morrigan does drag. On. Later, Solus cries over his busted ball. Just wait until I get my hands on him, I'll show him some busted balls. Bust his stupid egghead, too. He broke my heart!
Chose not to go with the excellent last time on I wrote for you, and I am offended, in case you were curious.
I didn't know you wrote me one. Where is it?
He did. It was in the group chat.
Oh, I didn't see that.
It was sassy. It was
not.
not.
Let's have a look.
It wasn't good.
Oh, the one where you were like, last time we shouldn't be playing this game anymore because I'm a whiny little bitch baby.
No, that's not what it said. And now I question your ability to read. You want to give that another take?
This is going to be a mess of an episode, I think. Hey everyone, welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I'm joined by Matthew Van Zant.
What do we do on this show, Jim?
We're not there yet. John. What's a good name for John for this one? What was that dragon's name?
Honey, I Shrunk the Gym?
John, Honey, I Shrunk the Gym, Brandon. And Vanessa.
I'm Vanessa.
And this is a podcast where we play and talk about your favorite classic RPGs and also Dragon Age Inquisition.
Whoa, rude.
We've been talking about this game for forever.
Yeah, and it's a joy because it's a wonderful game.
2 months, 8 weeks.
This is our final installment of it. This is the last episode in our Dragon Age Inquisition series.
If it must be.
Oh, the Inquisition is over, Vanessa.
I'm sure we could wring out some more episodes. We haven't even talked about Sutherland and his crew.
Who?
Yeah, I didn't think you guys
Arnold
would have done
Sutherland? That. Or Kiefer. We do have a great game coming up also, though, I think. Let me check the notes. Oh, wait. Oh, wait, no, it's Bayonetta.
Yay! I'm glad the listeners like queer icons like Bayonetta.
It's fine. What else do we do?
Did you tell the listeners what we do on this show?
Yes.
So,
like Bayonetta. We play classic
we do
RPGs
Bayonetta?
like Bayonetta.
Can we go it? Should we go ahead and announce what's after Bayonetta? Because I feel like if people want to play at the show, they might have to make a purchase.
No? Well,
we dropped lots of hints last time. Oh, jeez. Matt doesn't really understand the concept of a group decision.
No, he sure doesn't, but that's okay. That's what we like about the big lug.
Guys, this is a podcast. We're recording it. We can edit it however we want.
It's true.
He could bleep it. He could cut it out entirely.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds like a lot of work.
We don't have time for this bizzle bazzle. We have a lot to do.
Yeah, we have too much hot gaming news to talk about.
Do we have hot gaming news? I don't think there was any hot gaming news.
Well, I mean, there was a Nintendo Direct, and people are really excited about those. Like, the re-release of Mother 3
in Japan. I heard that the, lead of Mother 3 tweeted out, like, you can stop harassing me about an English translation and talk to Nintendo because this is not my decision to make.
I forget his first name, but his last name's Itoy. He's a comedian. He's a writer. He's not even a game designer. He just writes the scripts for them. And, like, he's a writer. He's like a Garrison Keillor, but less problematic. Like, he writes those kind of stories.
Oh. Okay. Like Live from Lake Woebegone, but in Japan.
Whatever the Japanese Lake Woebegone would be. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know the name of any Japanese lakes.
Neither do I.
I'm
I probably do
uncultured.
if I thought about it. If I thought about it for a minute. Like, think about things in Okami. I'm sure those are like real.
You mean busty babes?
Yeah,
There
think
are
about
busty
busty babes.
Yeah. So other things announced. Grounded turns out to be one of the Microsoft games that was mentioned last week.
One of the 4 cross-platform trader games.
Yeah, Grounded, Hi-Fi Rush.
It was not Hi-Fi Rush, was it?
Yeah, Grounded, Hi-Fi Rush,
Sea of
Pentiment,
Thieves,
and Sea of Thieves.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Pentiment, that's the other one.
Mm-hmm. I just said
that.
that.
Looks fun.
Yeah, I've played some Pentiment with my friend Teddy.
I only got like an hour into it.
Yeah, I think you really need to like be in a mood for it because
it's kind of boring. You got to be in the mood to read, and
I think Vanessa would like it because it's like she likes those people's games, and it's a talky Middle Ages Obsidian.
Oh yeah, I do.
Wow, admitted it, huh? Right here on the show, can't take it back.
They made a adventure game basically. There's no combat. It's a murder mystery set in like the 11th century or 12th century maybe.
Yeah.
Here's my question.
Yes.
Does it have different choices and outcomes, or is it just a novel pretending to be a game?
No, it's got a million choices and outcomes, and starting, you can sort of say different things of where you're from, and
one of the first things that you do is make up a backstory out of a bunch of different choices, right?
Yeah,
when you're talking to the first characters,
The art style is based on illuminated manuscripts from the era.
Ooh,
it's pretty
sounds
neat.
Amazing.
Yeah,
it's actually
gorgeous.
Really. Yeah, it looks really good.
What's it called again?
And
I wasn't paying attention.
Pentiment.
Oh, maybe I'll give that a play.
Yeah,
it's on Game Pass.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass. Yeah. I have not played Grounded. I don't think any of us have played Grounded, as I learned yesterday. No. But it looks pretty good. I mean, the frame rate, I get the impression, and this could be wrong, and this is sort of also hot gaming news. People have said the Switch 2, Super Nintendo Switch, is going to be released in 2025, not 20. They've delayed it again, and a lot of the partner showcase games had to show the Switch version instead of the Switch 2 version, which is why they all ran like disgusting butts.
Oh, interesting.
Because they delayed the release because they're waiting for more first-party games. This is from a rumor out of a Brazil developer or something. So that's
Nintendo's fault then.
It is Nintendo's fault for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that I didn't think it looked that bad, but everyone was saying how Grounded looked terrible. I don't know.
Grounded, I remember Grounded having performance issues when it first came out. I remember Microsoft saying there were tons of people trying to play, but apparently the game was running like shit for so many people. They had to put out a little statement that we're working on fixing it. People thought it might not have been totally finished when they put it out on Game Pass.
It was on early access when it came out on Game Pass.
It was early access.
That's right. It was early access.
But it sounds like Helldivers 2, except that game's a full retail release.
But that's I thought that the problem with Helldivers 2 were server issues.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it's a lot of...
And they weren't expecting it to be
Helldivers 1, Helldivers 1, top
people
shooter, playing was top people playing was 7,000, and this one was 700,000.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an understandable, mistake and something that they can fix.
It happens in a lot of popular games that turned out to be surprisingly popular.
Yeah.
When they come out. I don't know.
What's that survival game?
Trying Grounded. Is that Obsidian again? Is that another Obsidian thing?
I think it is.
Yeah.
No.
It's Bethesda, maybe?
Oh, I don't know who made it, actually.
Oh, it is an Obsidian game.
Huh. I do like Obsidian games.
Jim and I were talking about this on our stream last night. I like the idea of Grounded. I really like the idea of a game where you're, shrunk like a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids style tiny person in a backyard. That sounds great. This looks like a, massively multiplayer crafting and building and just the type of gameplay loop that I don't personally like, which is a bummer because that makes me not want to play it at all. Hey, did y'all hear about the newest, hottest game of the year that got announced yesterday at that Nintendo Direct?
Super Monkey Ball?
Super Monkey Ball!
Was Super Monkey Ball the one you were going to talk about for real?
Yeah.
For realsies? Oh.
Yeah, Banana Mania is the new one, I think.
I was talking to my ex about this because in 2007, he got a Wii in 2006. And I think in 2007, it might have been at launch, he got Endless Ocean and Super Monkey Ball on Wii. And I was like, it's 2007 all over again because there's a new Endless Ocean and a new Super Monkey Ball.
Yeah, that's funny.
Super Monkey Ball, Banana Rumble, an all-new Super Monkey Ball adventure. This one has 4-player couch co-op and 16-player online battles. I don't know what that means, but
it's like a mini battle royale. Apparently.
I find those Super Monkey Ball games pretty charming and impossible, but I like to play them until typically I remember that I hate them and then stop playing them.
I know that Super Monkey Ball players have a lot of hot opinions on which games are good and which games are bad, and I think mostly they think the first two games are good.
Yeah, that's like people with Smash.
I remember the original ones being really great, and then I remember playing more of them on like the Wii and maybe the Wii U, and thinking like, "Ooh, this is garbage."
Everyone loves this. Well, I think with the Wii, like that the original Wii controller was just not very good, and then they updated it, but it never supported the super good motion control.
I don't think it's ethical to put a monkey in a ball.
Ones if they like it. Ask I.
They don't like it.
They seem to be having fun, and they're getting a lot of bananas out of it.
The only animal that likes to be in a ball is a hamster. And some humans, but only if they've had like a bunch of beer.
Yeah, why isn't it Super Hamster Ball? Wouldn't that make more sense?
So much more sense.
Why would you not just make them hamsters? All right, Sega.
Monkeys are funnier. They're just inherently funnier. Monkeys are the funnier animal. That's why.
Funnier than a hamster.
Was there anything else interesting announced? Oh, Shin Megami Tensei 5 is getting like an expansion or semi-sequel. I don't know what it is.
It's like it's an expansion. Yeah, they said it's got a whole new story and demons. It felt like if you,
I could be wrong, but it felt like if you bought it, you basically got the original game and whatever this new game was.
That is correct.
I don't know. Like, I love Personas, and I'll be talking about one very soon, but I just don't know about these Shin Megami Tensei games.
Yeah, I've never tried one. I think I'd miss the social link aspect too much.
They look like they take themselves very seriously. All right, well, that's it for this episode of Square Roots.
Is there any other HGN that we need to cover?
Let's jump right into Level Up. We're on a schedule.
Okay. Oh, Sony says that they aren't releasing any good games this year.
Any first-party games, right?
They said there won't be any first-party games of your favorite franchises. That's what they said in an earnings call. So there's not going to be any Spider-Man or Lasts of Us or
well, why would there
Gods of War?
Those games don't take a year to make.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that they are expecting to not make very much money this year because of the lack of the big hitters.
Sony, will you
please... They lost $10 billion of their market value this week.
Yeah.
Whoa. $10 billion.
Sony, will you please pillage the corpse of the Embracer Group and buy up some of our favorite franchises and give them new life on your system?
Oh, that would be great.
They already bought up Bungie and are like in the earnings call, they were negging Bungie and saying how they weren't spending their time and money correctly.
Oh.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, yikes.
Why does everyone have to be such an ass all the time?
I think he said that he wishes they were more accountable for like their own P&L. And like they're mismanaging their business, and I wish that they would actually like admit that they suck.
Business people are gross.
It's like a Japanese CEO coming in, interim, taking over for Jim Ryan, and I think it's like kind of like when you take over position, you're like, well, looks like the last guy made some dumb decisions.
Ugh.
Am I right?
So dumb.
Well, they did want to launch literally 12 live service games over the next 5 years, and there was no way that was going to work.
Yeah. I mean, at best, one of those will become popular, you know?
Yeah.
Fucking figure it out, game developers and game publishers. Like, live service is a crapshoot. Just make good games that people want to play.
I feel like you, like, every time a new Sony game comes out, like, you always hear about, well, like, it took so long because we had built this whole multiplayer thing because Sony wanted us to make it multiplayer. Then they end up cutting it, like, right before the game gets released. Like, that's happened to multiple Sony games.
I mean, the opposite of that is Microsoft, who is like, no, don't worry about single player. Only do the multiplayer. Fuck everything else, you know? I'm looking at you, Redfall. I'm looking at you, Anthem. I'm looking at you, John Brandon.
Also, to cite my source on that, it was the Jeff Gerstmann podcast. That's where I heard that. Please, H-Bomber Guy, don't cancel me. Please.
Cancel him, H-Bomber Guy.
Look at how steamed Vanessa's getting, because we're not talking about Dragon Age yet.
Well, okay, Vanessa. I'm going to go to the little boy's room while someone levels up.
Nap.
Wow. Nobody cares about what I have to say. Is that
Matthew,
what you're saying?
I'll leave my headset on.
You always complain about being last, and now you complain about being first.
Because he's like, I'm not ready.
I am ready. I wrote it down. I'm playing America's hottest new Game Pass game, Persona 3 Reload. Wow, 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 wow. That's some like introduction music for Persona 3 Reload.
I wasn't sure if you were doing music from the game or not.
Yeah, me neither.
No. Baby.
That's it.
I am enjoying it, actually. So I think you all played Persona 3, have played Persona 3 multiple times.
Yes.
So I understand why none of you have...
That's the one that's not as good as Persona 4,
correct.
Right?
So I understand why you have not jumped on Persona 3 Reload, but I'm here to tell you the good news, which is that it's a fucking great. It's great. It's Persona 3, but it look like Persona 5, and it have nice slick menus, and it have it's a full blown 3D remake in the style of Persona 5.
I didn't realize that.
It is fantastic. I am probably 10-ish hours in. So I've finally, it took, those Persona games, like the first 5 hours is all like setup and story and like letting you walk around for 2 minutes and then more story. So it kind of took me the weekend to get through all that. But I am at the point where I'm able to explore Tartarus. It is, it's not the same because it's not top down, but it's still, you slash with your sword to surprise him from behind. And it's still that great Persona combat that I have always found so hooky and good. They've definitely added a lot of little things, I think. I mean, I don't remember everything about Persona 3, but like I've been finding Twilight crystals or something like that. New. That like I used to unlock treasure chests, and you can use it to heal up your party mid-dungeon and stuff like that. So there's definitely some changes to it, but nothing major. It still very much feels like, Persona 3. Tartarus is still a randomized, dungeon. It's not as... were the dungeons in Persona 5 random? I don't think they were.
The subway ones were.
That's right, the subway.
That's right. They had that like grinding area, yeah.
So this is more akin to the original, where the dungeon is just Tartarus, a big tower, and you're going up at about 10 levels at a time until it stops you and says, okay, you got to progress time far enough to move on to the next bit. It looks great. It sounds great. The music is great. It's the same music. It's fantastic. I do have one very minor complaint, and I don't want to come across like a complete asshole, but I don't think I think they re-recorded the music, and I don't think the singer is as good. She's kind of flat or like less bombastic. It's noticeable. it's not bad. It's not like making me hate it, but like it does kind of bum me out. She's just flatter.
I wonder why they re-recorded. That's very strange.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they just like remastered it and it just always sounded like that and I'm crazy. But yeah, Persona 3 Reload. It's a blast. It's on Game Pass, which is fantastic. I had started that Persona 5 Tactica and found it really blah. So I was pretty bummed out, and it took me a couple of weeks to finally get Persona 3 going. But once I did, I'm really loving it. I don't know that I'll play the whole thing. These games are so long. But I am certainly enjoying it right now. And yeah, Persona 3 Reload. What a great game. Vanessa, how did you level up?
I actually have one question about your level up. I know that exploring Tartarus is important, but have you also been keeping up with your studies and grades?
Yes, I have been keeping up with my studies and my grades, and I've also been forming my social links. I made friends with the bookstore owners, and some random boy in class decided to be my friend, and I joined the track team. And I'm still kind of getting the lay of the land because, you can only really do like 1 or 2 things per day. And a lot of the times at this early in the game forces you to do something. Mm-hmm. So I'm still exploring all the different places, but I've been to the arcade and I've been to the burger joint and I've been to the bookstore and I've studied and I've been to the library and all that good stuff.
That's great. I'm really glad to hear it.
Isn't it crazy in those games there's always at least one inappropriate social link with like a weird adult?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see. I heard that they have cleaned up some of the more problematic elements. There was definitely like a trans flag early in the game, like just
the beach scene. Well, they put that in there, yeah, to kind of make up for the anti-trans scene in the original. I wonder what the beach.
Great. I wonder how the beach scene will play out. We'll see. Like, I'm really excited about it though. Like, it's a gorgeous game, and I'm already feeling that addiction of like, just one more day, just one more social link, just one more point in my smarts meter. I just want to do it. All right, Vanessa, how did you level up?
Well, I saw a couple of movies. Here are the movies I saw, starting with...
Movies?
Poor Things.
Ooh, that's by Emma Stone?
It's Emma Stone and Mark Ruffalo. Willem Dafoe is in it. It has, Oscar buzz. It has heat. Emma Stone has been sweeping up some sweet awards. And I didn't like it. I did not.
That's interesting.
Like it.
That director, his movies make me feel like bad.
Yeah.
They're like feel bad. And I haven't seen Poor Things, but his movies, they just, I don't know. They have like a weird, they just make me feel bad.
Like what other movies has he directed?
He did Dogtooth. He did The Killing of a Sacred Deer. Mm. He did The Favorite, which I think actually won Best Picture.
Mm-hmm, it did.
It came out. He's getting to be like the big hot director. His name's Yorgos Lanthimos.
Mm-hmm. I'd say that the way Poor Things was filmed, it felt like a dream or a nightmare, depending on your perspective. But all of the sets are very setty. Like it's not supposed to look realistic in any sense or period accurate. It's sort of this weird steampunk world. Every set feels very much like a stage. And I just could not really overcome the premise, which is, I guess, spoilers if you don't know what Poor Things is about.
Yeah, please tell us. I have no idea.
It is about a sort of Frankenstein monster type girl who has the brain of a baby but the body of a grown woman.
Huh.
And
yeah, Jim talked about this like last week, right? Or we just talked about this, didn't we?
Maybe on stream.
Yeah, I don't know
if
we talked about it.
Jim, did you see this?
No.
Vanessa, when did you see this?
I saw it a while ago. I told you about it. But not on the podcast. I've been saving it up.
So it's good?
It's good if you like to see a baby having lots of sex.
Nope.
No, thank you.
I don't like this. I don't even like this conversation anymore. How else did you level up?
Didn't that happen in Big? Well, not a baby. That was just a child.
Not exactly. I would say, like, if you look at it,
it's not a baby. It's not like physically a baby, though.
It's
right?
not physically a baby. It's physically Emma Stone. It's just mentally a baby.
Huh. Why does this remind me of Renesmee from the Twilight movies?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you look at it as
I'm imprinting on this baby.
If you look at it as a horror movie, then I think it kind of works. I think Mark Ruffalo is fantastic in it. But for me, it's like I didn't want to see all those sex scenes, and there were an awful lot of them. I also saw a movie called...
Then why did you go see the movie?
Well, interestingly enough, I had no idea what the movie was about when I went to go see it. And I wasn't thrilled.
Vanessa, are you one of those people who like tries to squeeze in all like a lot of awards movies before the Oscars? So like when they're nominated, you're like, I've seen that.
Yeah, I've seen
that one.
I've seen it. Look, I filled out my Oscar poll, my Oscar predictions.
Oh yeah,
because I saw it all.
Yeah.
I saw it.
I bet Vanessa bets in Vegas on the Oscar winners.
Going to Vegas, putting my money on Big. I mean,
on Big? Big? That movie came out in what,
I got this bracket out of the TV guide.
No, I just had a friend who wanted to go see it, and so we went to the theater to watch it, and I had a lovely time just like hanging out with her and being at a movie theater, but did not like Poor Things.
Did you see Madame Web?
I did not see Madame Web. I watched a movie.
You?
I thought about it,
This
but I
is
forgot.
not Johnny's Level Up. You can ask him what he saw when I'm done.
Vanessa, did you play Tekken?
No. I saw a movie called Dumb Money on Netflix.
Mm.
It was okay. It's sort of about not sort of. It's exactly about the people who bought GameStop stock and the whole Robin Hood deal that happened a little while ago. It's very much like rah, the little guy. These people who bought this Robin Hood stock, GameStop stuff were great. I don't know if they're all necessarily great people. They certainly like to use a lot of like ableist slurs, and I don't know if they like to use other slurs. That part wasn't in the movie. So, take it with a grain of salt, but it was interesting. It sort of just laid out what happened with these day traders and how the GameStop thing took off, and then the response to it. Had a pretty good cast. Paul Dano was in it. Everyone loves that Paul Dano.
To the moon, Vanessa.
Paul Dano.
To the moon.
He's my favorite Riddler after Jim Carrey.
Yeah, everyone's second favorite Riddler. And I watched True Detective Season 4.
What?
That's right. These guys have been talking
Spoilers.
about it. I watched it. I watched the whole dang thing.
Did you like it?
I did like it. I thought it was good.
What's your favorite thing about it?
My favorite thing about it was that it featured two women protagonists who were interesting and flawed characters, and the whole thing felt like it had a very strong female perspective. It has a female showrunner now, and it didn't just present women as victims and corpses, which I think that detective shows have a tendency to do sometimes.
I think the early seasons of True Detective were very guilty of that as well.
Yes, they were. I think I've watched the first two seasons and not the third one, perhaps.
I think the third one. I think I heard the third one was pretty good. I just never watched it. It had Mahershala Ali. He's fucking amazing.
The first one's good. Second season, I thought was terrible.
Yeah, doesn't that
Third
have
season is
Vince
good.
Vaughn?
Vince Vaughn and Colin Farrell.
almost universal pass on anything with Vince Vaughn, other than a few comedies.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
Dodgeball's still pretty great.
Yeah, maybe I didn't watch the second one. I might have watched the third one and the first
And the third.
Yeah.
Dang, I forgot. I had a second level up that I forgot to do. Oh well. Let me know if you guys want to hear about Percy Jackson, though, because I can talk about it. I can
Save
talk
it
about
for
that.
next week. Save it for next week.
I won't remember.
So I stopped watching season 2 of True Detective. I think it was actually in the first episode because Colin Farrell threatened a bully, like a kid bully, and said that if the kid ever bullied anyone again, he was going to come back and, this is very vulgar, butt fuck his dad with the severed head of his mother. And I was like, that is terrible writing.
Wow.
I hate that. That makes me feel fucking gross. I hated it, and I stopped watching after that. I was like, nope, this is not the kind of show I want to spend my time watching.
Fair enough.
Few things. I haven't read that much about it because I don't really care. Where I guess the original creator of True Detective really hated this season and is posting like links to bad reviews of it and things like that. And I'm like,
he is, and he's famously a huge jerk.
Yeah, he sounds like it.
Did he leave or did he get fired?
Like, kind of both. Like they just were like, we don't want you back.
Yeah.
Like we don't need you to write this. But he's like a famously like hoity-toity, I'm a prestige TV writer kind of guy.
Like it's not hard just to be supportive of people or keep your mouth shut. Like unless the media is doing something actively harmful, like portraying minorities in a harmful way or some shit like that. Like just keep your mouth shut. Deal with it. Let people like things. It's fine.
And she did a good job because they're bringing her back for the next season.
Yeah.
Hey, he is the credited writer on that absolutely fucking terrible Magnificent Seven movie that came out in 2016. So maybe he shouldn't have strong opinions about other people's work when he's got a stinker like that in his fucking filmography.
Matt, what did I just say about keeping your mouth shut and just being nice?
Fuck that.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought Jodie Foster was really good in the lead role, and
so good.
I loved how she looked. She is obviously a beautiful woman, but she is not afraid to look like a real person at the same time. And I really, really appreciate that in actresses, especially older actresses.
Plus, she has some hot sex scenes,
She has hot sex scenes.
Ew, with gross Christopher Eccleston pumping her.
What's your issue with Christopher Eccleston? You're so anti-Eccleston.
I didn't need to see his butt. I'm still kind of bitter about it.
Pumping her.
Don't be bitter about the butts you have to see. Be grateful for the butts that you haven't seen.
Wow, that's a good perspective.
Thank you.
It's a real full butt.
Yeah.
Not a half butt.
The butt half full.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what HBO was made for. Hot sex scenes with a 62-year-old woman.
That's true. What is HBO if not naked butts?
It's true.
All right, that's my level up, Johnny.
What is HBO but hot butts enduring?
It's called the Home Butt Office.
Hot butt office, obviously.
All right,
Yeah,
Hot
come
Butt
on.
Office.
Come on.
Hot Butt
right
Orifice.
Oh, God.
Oh, yay!
We got there.
We did it. That's great. John, that's the episode title.
That'll get us removed from iTunes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hot butt office might be a good title.
Hot butt office.
Hot butt
is
orifice
fine.
ain't it?
Just a step too far. All right. Well, there's a few things. I have been watching Delicious in Dungeon. I talked a little bit. I said I tried watching an episode before, but saw it was subbed, so I couldn't watch it while doing dishes. So now I have sat down and watched like 4 episodes. It's really good. I really like it. Matthew, not so much. Matthew went on a rant about it on his stream yesterday.
Our
Matthew
stream?
did say that...
It's our stream.
Our stream, like our mom. Our Square Roots house.
It's the Square Root stream. It's our stream. You haven't appeared yet, but you will.
Okay. Matthew said,
I did bounce hard off of that show.
Spend time watching people thinking about learning how to prepare fictional animals into meals. It's a waste of time.
I compared it to when I was really into Guitar Hero, and I eventually realized that if I wanted to continue progressing in the game, I was going to have to start practicing the songs to get better at them so that I could progress. And I was like, is practicing playing fake songs on a fake guitar something I want to spend my time on this earth? It is not. And Delicious in Dungeon, I only made it through like the first 2 episodes. And yeah, that second episode, I was watching. I
loved it. That second episode was so good.
Sometimes I like over explanations and stuff like that, but something about it really. Maybe I'll go back and maybe I'll give it another shot. Maybe
we like different stuff. That's okay. We can like different things.
Just trying to share things with you, John, because I love you. But no, that's fine.
No,
shoot me down. Tell me it doesn't matter.
My name,
you don't care.
But
I called Jim. I almost called Jim Brandon last night.
Nice.
You did.
What were you saying, Jim?
Yeah, what were you saying, Jim?
I was going to say, Matt, I had that exact Guitar Hero revelation where it's like, if I kept practicing, I could get really good at this. And then you're like, I actually said that. Do I want to be the kind of guy who's really good at Guitar Hero?
I owned a guitar that I still didn't really know how to play at the time and still don't. And I was very much like, if I really wanted to do this, I should probably just do it on the real guitar. And then
that's why you play Rocksmith, where you could play
I have Rocksmith. It never worked
in.
for me. Never worked.
Oh, I used to use Rocksmith.
It never worked with my guitar. I had the special cord and everything. It was a real bummer.
Delicious in Dungeon is basically like a JRPG party.
It's like a lit RPG, basically, right? Like,
let me explain.
Do you know what a lit RPG is?
I think so. I think you've talked about it on the podcast before.
Yeah, I read one.
Yeah. So it's like a JRPG party where they ran out of money, and so they couldn't buy food for the next trip down to the dungeon. And they thought about eating dungeon monsters, and then this big burly dwarf man is like, oh, eating dungeon monsters, I'll show you how to eat dungeon monsters, and then shows them how to eat dungeon monsters. And he's sort of like the magical person that can fix everything and do everything right. Which is maybe a little obnoxious, but he's cute. So and cute in an adorable way, not cute in a like I want to smooch and marry him. Well, maybe smooch a little.
Is this a cartoon?
You know, he's a cartoon. Right. Yeah, he
looks a lot like Jim's cousin.
So the anime, he does not look anything like Jim's cousin.
He's got the same beard. Beard.
That is true. And there's a lot of upskirt shots of him.
Okay.
Of him.
That's fine.
Which is pretty funny. Anyway, yeah, it's an anime, and this is a popular dungeon. It's almost like an MMO where all these characters are going through their own quests and stuff. And it's talking about the ecology of the dungeon, and basically it's about eating random encounter monsters or using them to prepare food in some way. And it's pretty fun. I think it's really creative. Like the second episode is about mobile ghosty suits of armor. And they're like, how are these moving? And then they find out, and it's a bit of a spoiler for episode 2, but it's not like a major story spoiler, is that there's these little jellies that live in there. They're basically like I guess like crabs.
Hermit crabs.
Yeah, like hermit crabs that live in them, and they form a colony, and that's why. And I guess they move into armor, or is the armor their shells? I couldn't figure that part out. I think the armor might be their shells, and so you can remove them and cook them. And they're talking about preparing, and it's all about making delicious meals from these JRPG monsters you find. It's really cute.
It's a lot like some aspects of it are a lot like that Food Wars. Show or that is it Toriko?
The way that they show the food like Food Wars is pretty fun.
Yeah, Toriko, where
really glamorized.
And also it's a lot of people trying the food. There's a lot of people trying the food and a discussion of how amazing the food is, and this is the best food in the world, and that type of thing.
I'm trying to.
That actually sounds kind of interesting.
I mean, Food Wars was like that. Food Wars was written like a shonen, where they're like, shonen, which is like a battle manga type situation, except they were preparing foods, and like every time somebody tried the best food, they would have like an orgasmic experience, a gazzy experience.
Well,
and you would get like
I said no gazzies this episode.
Did you? When did you say that?
Oh, I said it in the description of last episode. I said that we'll get it out of our systems, and this one would be it would be gazzy free. Anyway, so it kind of reminds me. There's some other shows over the years that have had like a super capable character who solves all the problems. And it's usually not the main character. It's usually like a side character who's also like amazing and awesome. And I've been watching season 3, and I just got to season 4 of The Good Place. And Janet is totally a Senshi. She's totally a super amazing side character who can solve everyone's problems because she's super competent and can do whatever.
That's true, but with Janet, it's baked into her character. She is like an AI made by God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's what
everything
she's made
that you
to
want her
do.
to do.
Mm-hmm. And Senshi
and not just like somebody who's just the best.
Oh yeah, Senshi's just a very experienced dwarf that everyone overlooks because he's kind of weird and like homeless.
Yeah, well, aren't they all kind of homeless in this? Is it supposed to be like a video game? Are they in a video game?
Like they're talking about like the dungeon.
I got.
Yeah, they're talking about dungeon levels. Like, level 3 has this biome, and yeah. I also
doesn't the beginning of it like talk about people just like appearing in this world and like.
Does it? I don't remember. I'd have to rewatch it.
I thought it did, but I don't know.
But yeah, it's kind like it could be like you were saying, a lit RPG, or imagine like a Dungeons and Dragons group, your adventuring group, and the party members are pretty fun. There's a thief, and there's a mage lady who's always wrong. Which is a bit weird. I guess in modern media, you don't have a really dumb lady character very often.
But anime is, I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm talking shit about a culture, but anime still feels like it's
like in the 50s,
10 years, 20 years behind on this stuff, and still thinks it's really funny to like denigrate women and homosexuals and treat them like they're lesser than. It's not great. They'll get there.
I do know from the opening credits there are other ladies that come in, so hopefully that's not an issue. But also, like, what's wrong with having? In some ways, there's nothing wrong with a lady character being kind of a airhead. Mm-hmm. If there are other lady characters that aren't, because men can be airheads, ladies can be airheads. I don't know. I feel like it could go either way. I want to see more of the show and see where that aspect goes. That's the only part that's ever that bugged me a little bit watching. It's like, oh boy, is the joke that the girl's always wrong?
Well, I'd check it out for myself, but I've been banned from watching it any further by John. So
yeah, sorry, you're not allowed.
What else have you been doing, John?
Playing Tekken Online.
Fuck you.
Have been.
Fucking told me not to buy Tekken.
Tekken 7.
I'm like, I really want to play Tekken. It looks really good. And you were like, no, Matthew, you don't want Tekken. You don't need Tekken. You bought Tekken.
I've been playing Tekken 7 online because it has Bob. Wait till Bob comes to Tekken 8. I'll play that online with you. I'm sure he'll be a DLC character.
Was Bob also in Street Fighter, or is that a different very large man?
That was Rufus, but there was Street Fighter Cross Tekken, which had Rufus and Bob.
Rufus. That's what I'm thinking of. I actually have Tekken 7 on my PlayStation as well. I play it sometimes with Connor. I like those games. Like, I don't understand them and am bad at them.
I've been getting better. And finally, so I've been watching Good Place, and I was intoxicated, I want to say Sunday night, and I was trying to tweet that I don't remember a single thing about The Good Place Season 4, and I blame the pandemic for it because it, like, took up my memory of 2020 and like overrode anything about things that happened in 2020 before the pandemic. Because I do not. Vanessa, do you remember anything that happened other than the ending?
I don't know how to distinguish seasons of The Good Place in my mind.
Okay, skip ahead a minute. You haven't watched The Good Place. Season 1, The Good Place original premise.
Got it.
Right. Season 2, The Good Place multiple reboots.
Okay.
Season 3, Good Place on Earth.
Okay.
Season 4, question mark? Because I just got there and I don't remember anything.
Is season 4 the last season?
Yeah. It sure is.
Well, sure. I remember what happened in that.
Well, I remember the ending because, remember, it destroyed me? I don't know if you remember
I do
that.
remember it destroyed you. No,
That is the saddest ending of any show I've ever seen.
Isn't season 4 like them on trial and like
yeah, they're going on trial. They go to hell.
The trial was
go to
more
hell a
season
bunch.
3, but they do go to hell again, I think, in season 4, from what I remember. Because I remember that one really hot actor shows up in
Adam Scott.
No, Patrick something. I can't remember his last name. I feel like it was Coxwell or something like that. Pat Cox.
Coxwell.
I think Cox.
Yeah, definitely that's that guy's name.
Yeah.
And not just what you think of when you look at him.
Hey, Matt, there's going to be an echo on my track for the first 45 minutes.
I'm not editing, so.
Oh, Jim, there's going to be an echo on my...
Fuck you, John. Fuck you.
Sorry about that, buddy. Anyway, you know what? I've taken up too much time. Jim, have you leveled up yet?
I've not. I'll be quick.
Jim, how did you level up?
I also watched the season finale of True Detective and thought it was pretty good. I think it's the best season. Like, it's the most consistently good. And I feel like a lot of, like, I rewatched most of season 1 before this new season came out. And actually the writing is kind of not good, but the direction is really, really good. So I think that carried a lot of it. But yeah, I like True Detective.
Can
I just say that...
Go ahead, Matt.
Can I just say that as much as I love a lot of HBO's like dramas, I do feel like they get away a bit with like some kind of crappy writing by having the majority of their stories just kind of be about lots of terrible people all doing terrible things. Does that make sense?
They have really great production values.
Yeah,
so
and really great production values.
Writing can be mediocre, but the rest of it's great.
I mean, Game of Thrones is a good example of that too. True Detective, obviously The Sopranos, Deadwood. These are all shows that are mostly just kind of about scumbags being scumbags, and I feel like that kind of covers up a lot of what is kind of shitty writing.
I read that this season of True Detective had a budget of $60 million, and it shows. It looked fantastic. And there were 2 actors in it who I hadn't seen before, because I think they haven't done very much. There was Kelly Reese, who played the Evangeline, the secondary cop character.
Navarro.
And she, I guess, was a professional boxer, from what I'm able to see.
Yeah, I either mentioned that on stream or I mentioned it on the show, but yeah, she was like a boxer before she became an actor.
She was
Interesting.
fantastic.
I thought she was fantastic, yeah.
And then the kid, Finn Bennett, who's only been in a handful of stuff, he was great. Keep an eye out for him.
And then Christopher Eccleston was in it for some reason. Still not totally sure why.
I really want you to watch The Leftovers now just because Christopher Eccleston is in it, and I want you to experience it.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I do need to watch that.
It's on HBO.
And then, so this is a pre-level up, but I'm going to go see one of my favorite movies in the theater in a couple days.
Advent
and it's
Children?
American movie.
The Room?
No. Nope. It's American movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, one of my top 5 favorite movies. It's somewhere up there. And I'm really excited to see it in a movie theater.
What is American movie? Is it like not another teen movie, that kind of thing?
No.
It's a documentary about a guy in Milwaukee who has this vision for like his interpretation of cinema. Like he wants to make his movie and it's going to be called Northwestern, but he doesn't have any money for it. And
I thought it was going to be
he's
Coven.
not real, and he's Well, no. So to fund Northwestern, he's like, I need to make this horror movie, man. It's going to be called Coven. It's about alcoholism.
It's not Coven like oven.
Yeah, somebody tries to correct his pronunciation, and he's like, no, Coven sounds like oven, man. It's Coven. But he's a real burnout, and his like main production assistant is this guy that he went to high school with who took too much acid and can't really hold very many thoughts in his head. Like he got brain damage from it.
Wow.
And it's just about him trying to, over the course of like 3 years, trying to make this horror movie. And then he borrows like money from his uncle to do it. It's actually a super good movie.
And his uncle is like almost dead.
85. He's Joe Biden's age. He's decrepit now.
Well, and also just not
he
in
was,
good
like,
mental
90.
state. Like he was.
Yeah.
It was getting money from someone who could barely think. Like it was. Real
that's
not
true.
Great.
Yeah.
Was the documentary made contemporaneously with their efforts? Like, is it a real-time kind of thing?
Yeah.
Who had the foresight to
was...
capture that? That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I think it was a film student, actually, that was going to a college in Milwaukee and just knew this guy. And so he decided to just, like, chronicle his attempt to make these movies. So we followed him around, like, pretty much everywhere.
Wow.
It's interesting that after this, so there's a lot of fallout of this movie. Like after this, Mark Borchardt did make his movies. He's been in, like he was in Jet Li's The One for some reason.
He and Mike, I can't remember Mike's last name, but the Burnout guy, like who did all the acid, was also in that. They had a cameo in that movie.
There's a movie called Storytelling by Todd Solondz that's basically ripping apart the documentary because it's like saying that rich people are going through the lives of poor people, making fun of them for trying to do stuff. And it has in its cast Mark Borchardt.
I don't ever feel like it was making, maybe it was making Mike the butt of the joke a little bit, but like I never felt like it was treating them badly. Like it's very like down to earth. Like this is just these people, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's super good. If you haven't watched it, check it out. It's super funny and endearing, and very, very much how like a lot of people live. So yeah, check it out. All right, let's talk Dragon Age.
Ooh boy, I'm excited.
You know what you didn't tell me,
Are you
Vanessa?
sure that you guys don't want to hear about Percy Jackson? Because it was really mediocre.
Positive.
Vanessa, you never said, oh, by the way, the actual ending of this game is in the DLC.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I heard that happened to that Prince of Persia 2008 game, but this is the first game I've played where the actual ending of the game is in DLC.
Yeah, it really is.
Before the DLC came out, did the game not have end credits?
It did. Remember,
it did.
like I sat through end credits last week.
Yeah, we got like a sort of little bit of end credit.
But
and then
these end credits are the greatest BioWare end credits of all time.
Yeah, I sat there and listened to the whole. I assume you're talking about who is it?
Cassandra.
That's reading? Yeah, I thought it was Cassandra. Who is it that's reading it? She is. That was so fucking funny. We'll talk about it. Let's. Vanessa clearly does not want to talk about Trespasser. She wants to talk about Jaws of Harkon.
I thought we could just mention it existed. Jim and I both played Jaws of Harkon. I'm not sure if Johnny did.
I played a little. Like I opened. I didn't realize that it was a DLC. It was very well integrated as a deal. Like
yeah, it was.
It just feels
the
like
best
part of the
integrated of the DLCs.
I don't think I had either Jaws or Disaster in the Deep Roads. So I don't know.
That's great because you can go back and play more Dragon Age now.
No,
I already uninstalled it, as I always do when we finish one of these games. It is fucking gone.
Well, I guess the only real thing to mention about Jaws of Harkon is the unbearable choices you have to make regarding a potential new asset for the Inquisition.
Yeah, I don't even know how to explain that. So, like, the local people that live in one of the areas of the map, it's a big map. One of the areas of the map are like they're like hill people, and they have like a clan, and they're like kind of their clan mascot is a bear that gets like kidnapped by
Bear-napped?
the other bear-napped by the other the other clan, and so you can rescue it. And when you do, you can basically recruit this giant bear as an asset for the Inquisition.
Right.
You can get it to be an agent.
But first you have to judge it like you do at Skyhold. You have to pass judgment on this bear.
Yeah, you do.
And when you do, every single dialogue option gives you the opportunity to make a bear pun. So they the chief asks you will you judge this bear? And you can say, I'll bear this burden. And say, it's
I think I sent you some of these on Xbox today.
Yeah, you did. You sent me a whole slew of
one.
All of the bear puns. It's pretty delightful. It's worth playing Jaws of Harkon, if only for that. And
you did share that great bear. You know what? That's funny. I didn't realize it was part of the DLC. I did remember that. I remember not running across the bear pun stuff and being like, I guess I just missed this great bear stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at one point you can say, very well, I wouldn't want life in the hole to become unbearable. And there's actually an ellipses in between there too.
And the people who you're talking to are just groaning and rolling their eyes and clutching their head. It's beautiful. And then if you let the bear live, then the bear will fight with you too at the end of the DLC. It's pretty great.
So good.
The Disaster in the Deep Roads. This is my least favorite DLC. It's really linear. You're just plonking through the deep roads, but does have some.
It's super video gamey too.
It is.
It feels like the most video gamey. It has all these different mechanics in it and things that you can do, and it's just it's all those things felt just tacked on.
Mm-hmm. It does have some interesting lore, though, about the dwarves. So if you're into dwarves and want to know more about that and the, potential giant gods who live beneath Thetis and what their deal might be.
Which ones? Because there are so many gods in Thetis that I cannot keep track.
These are actual real. In this DLC, they're oh, this changes my entire idea of how our planet and our universe works.
They're titans. They're essentially giant creatures.
I know a lot about those because I recently watched the Percy Jackson.
No,
just kidding.
Yeah. So,
also, has in my opinion, the hardest boss of the entire game is at the end.
I agree.
Disaster in the Deep Roads.
Only my Inquisitor survived that fight.
I got KO'd I'm not even kidding, 10 times.
Jeez.
Trying to kill that boss. Yeah.
It's very, very tough. So, that's just putting that out there into the universe that those exist if the listeners are looking for more fun with Dragon Age. But now it's time to get into Trespasser, the true ending of the game. Last time.
But I want to know more about these gods and stuff. What are you talking about?
Oh, Matt, you should go play that DLC.
I'll tell you about
I can't. I already deleted it, and now I'm unable to re-download it. It's not possible.
Okay.
Microsoft has a rule where if you're hoarding all of the fully loaded games.
I just tried to take a sip of water and spilled it down my shirt. It happens to me sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Put that on a TikTok.
Because you got that hole in your lip.
2 years later. That's right.
Wow.
It's a time jump.
This felt a bit like Endgame, 5 years later. Except I had just finished the main game a day before, so I didn't really love it.
It does feel like 2 years.
It doesn't.
Yeah. You needed to play it when it first came out, so you actually had a period of waiting in between the main game and this.
They should have given your Inquisitor a big old man beard to show that time had passed.
Yeah.
You look like an old
Especially
prospector.
my Dalish female. It would have been great.
I'm a lady.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just did for me, and I'm not sure. It's not really the game's fault that I played it like this, but it did for me make kind of a lot of this 2 year early in this Trespasser DLC. A lot of this 2 years later stuff kind of fell flat for me. Where it's like, go see what everyone's been up to, and I'm like, I just saw you yesterday. We just killed Corypheus together. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's 2 years
How
later.
big of a time difference was there between the release of Dragon Age Inquisition and the release of Trespasser?
I don't
was there like a
remember.
good amount of time there?
I feel like a year, maybe.
Probably
it was
2 years.
a while.
Could have been something like that, yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So, 2 years later, we have been summoned back to the Winter Palace in Orlais for an exalted council, which has been called by the new divine, who is, in my world, Liliana.
Yeah,
Jim?
me too. Liliana.
Vivian.
Nice.
Johnny.
Also, Liliana, because I just let the game do its own thing there. I didn't make any choices.
Yeah, I remember when they confronted me about like who it should be, and I very intentionally was like, "You fucking figure it out," and I guess this is what I get. Like, what do I care? Juliana, fucking can Cassandra be it too? I think
Yeah, she can.
Like, what do I care? I don't give a shit about any of these people.
Wow. You give a shit
Vivian
about Dorian.
Vivian was my mage for a while, but you know, Sarah was just too entertaining not to keep in my party. I did get some great interaction between Iron Bull and Vivian, though.
So the new divine has called a council between Ferelden, Orlais, herself, and the Inquisition to figure out what the future of the Inquisition will be. We head to the Winter Palace, and we get to reunite with all of our friends.
Yay!
So exciting!
Hey.
We get to go see... there's a few worth mentioning, I think. When I went to go see Cassandra, she asked me if I was getting married that day, which I thought was very strange, since she knows that Solus just completely abandoned me and broke my heart 2 years ago. Not really very cool, Cassandra.
I went to like a play or something with who? Was it Cassandra?
Josephine, I think.
Oh yeah, it was Josephine. That was fun. And like you get to kind of determine your reactions, but like from the Inquisitor's face, I felt like he hated it. Mm-hmm. But my responses were like, "This is the greatest thing I've ever seen."
Yeah. I like how in that scene, Josephine proposes that you go to this play, and if you agree, it cuts immediately to like the end of the play, and you just see the Inquisitor sitting there like staring with the most sort of disgusted and baffled look on their face.
Mm-hmm. I wonder what it was.
I assume it involved a donkey. Iron Bull.
Wow. I thought maybe it was like a Cirque du Soleil type thing.
Yeah.
Or like maybe like a drag show.
Sure.
What kind of shows have donkeys in them?
The kind
Like-
where a woman fucks a donkey, Jim.
Oh.
Wow.
I was gonna do like a innocent bit, but no, that's.
I was
dead.
thinking like Shrek on Ice. I don't know where Matt got that
Fuck
from.
the fuck you were. That's not what you were implying. You know. You don't get to bring up Donkey Show and then pin it on me when I'm creeped out by it.
Iron Bull is there. For me, the Chargers were alive and well, and Krem asked me to distract Iron Bull for a while. So I sat down at the bar with him, and it gives you lots of options. Like my Inquisitor said to him, "Hey, I sure like being a mage. It's great to throw those fireballs." And Iron Bull's like, "Uh-huh." And then
How about? Do you know that the royalty of Ferelden has some very interesting divisions? Like there's bands and Arls.
Yeah, you just start listing all of them. And while this is going on, you see the Chargers in the background, and they have a dragon skull that they're pushing along the ground. And like for every dialogue option, they push it a little bit further. And they're like, eh. And then if you stick with it, Iron Bull turns around and they yell happy birthday and present him with this dragon skull. It was very sweet. For me,
Fun.
Tom Rainier was there. Was he there for you at all, Jim?
No,
So he's just like vanished somewhere and never came back?
I had
Yeah, he was not
just
available
gone.
for me at all. Like, he's just gone. I
Wow.
never completed his side quests. I barely spoke to him the whole time, other than the one time that he was like, "I don't fucking like you," and I was like, "I don't care."
It's interesting that
you
he
again?
goes totally by Tom Rainier. Like, even in the menus and stuff, he's no longer Blackwall.
Yeah. He's living his
Oh,
Tom
interesting.
Rainier life. He's an
'Cause he
actual
was
warden now
there.
in my world.
No, I guess that's good for him. Did something about that stolen valor.
Yep.
Yes, he did, and he's real doing it now. He's really doing
He's real doing it.
He's real doing it. I ran into Cole, and he has a girlfriend. It's just like Cole's like, "Oh yeah, me and this lady are dating now."
Oh, really?
Weird. Yeah.
He didn't have a girlfriend for me, but he did. Maybe because you made him human, he had a girlfriend.
Yeah, I bet
In
that's
my
why.
world, he was just kind of hanging out invisible, but he helps the bard lady who was always hanging around your inn.
That's his
singing her
girlfriend.
songs. Oh,
I'd like to say something about that.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
That is a real person, or played by a real person, named Elizaveta. She performed all of the bard songs in Dragon Age Inquisition, particularly Trespasser. And if you would like to cut this, that's fine. But she also was recently posting on Twitter about a terrible tragedy that she was going through and was asking for help from people. So maybe look up Elizaveta.
I believe she gets punched by Sarah at one point in this DLC.
Yeah, she writes a song called, what's it called? It is called Sarah Was Never. And I think the intention is that she was trying to bang Sarah.
Oh.
I also got because I also turned Cole human, so I also got the Cole is dating this bard thing. And to be honest with you, it really took me by surprise. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? You're like a ghost? What, thinks he a boy now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he
what
don't-
happens
he
when
real
you
boy.
let ghosts think they're boys. In mine,
Don't
he
get
was
involved in a relationship.
Yeah, she's fine with it.
he wasn't dating her in mine, but he does hook her up with some other guy because he's like watching her and he senses that she's lonely. And first one guy comes up to her and is like kind of flexing and showing off, and Cole whispers to her like, not that guy. And then this other kind of more modest guy comes by and Cole's like, he's going to be a really good boyfriend for you.
Sarah's listening to her singing the song, and this was done without any video. It's just like black and white. You hear her sing like "Sarah's never," and then you hear "bonk," and
Wow.
Sarah says, "Creepy song is creepy."
I really when we first got introduced to Sarah, I was like, I don't know about this, but I gotta be honest with you. I think by the end of this, she may be my favorite character in this game, which for a long time was very much Iron Bull, but I mean, well, we'll get there.
So with Sarah, she comes by and asks if you want to do some pranks.
Oh no, I didn't get this. And I went and talked to her like 15 fucking times.
Yeah, I didn't get that
Weird.
either.
And I didn't get that
I
Iron Bull
didn't
stuff.
get this either.
Though I guess it makes sense for Iron Bull because for me, the Chargers were all dead. So he was just
Yeah.
sitting at the bar drinking alone, and he only had dialogue for me. He only would talk to me. I couldn't even really talk to him. Just he would say something to me. Varric also was like, "Hey, I'm here if you need me," and that was it. He didn't have anything to say to me.
Yeah, for me, it was
for
like,
me
they're
too.
almost finished moving that skull into the bar by now, right? He is Ben Hassrat after all. So for me, Sarah and I did some more pranks around, and we were just hanging out in the rafters after doing some pranks, and she's like, "Yeah, I think you're really cool. What are you going to do after this Inquisition's over, if it's over?" I'm like, "I don't know. how about I become a Red Jenny? And she's like, really? You want to be a Red Jenny? I'm like, yeah, for real. After this Inquisition is over, I want to be part of your squad. And she's like, oh, deal, let's do it. It didn't seem to be like a romance thing. It was just like a, we're going to be besties thing.
Yeah, that's nice.
She wanted you to be a Red Jenny, right?
Yeah. Yeah, did you get that? Well, we'll talk about the ending cards about that, because it turns out when you say you're going to do that, it follows through.
Wow. I didn't get that. I did get, she ended up with Dagna, is that her name? The little dwarf arcanist who comes in.
Oh, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Speaking of dwarves and arcanists, so Dagna was from Dragon Age 1, right? She was the one who wanted to go to the circle to study. I could have sworn that enchantment guy was in my Skyhold in my original playthrough, but he's not, right? He never shows up.
No, he's never there, I don't think.
I mean, I found his camp.
Don't you see, Vanessa, didn't you send me his camp?
Yeah.
I think that's what Vanessa sent me.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a
Easter egg in the
sec.
game.
Yeah, I did find his camp. Okay, I could have sworn him and the other guy were in Skyhold, but I guess I'm mixing it up with Dragon Age 2.
Yeah, I don't remember him ever being there. But I could be wrong.
Well, I think that's okay. I think you can not, like Matt was saying, he doesn't want to see the same characters every game. So I think it's fine that they left Enchantment Dwarf out of this one.
Cullen is there. He has a dog now.
Doggy!
I loved the dog.
Who the
I found
fuck
as many
cares about
bones
Cullen?
as I could.
But that dog...
I didn't give a
It's
shit
amazing.
about Cullen until he had this dog. Yeah, and then I was like, wait, are you the best character in the game? What if I love you? Why didn't you have this dog all the whole time?
Yeah, Matt was saying, like, it's so weird that the Inquisitor's at this fancy party and all she's doing is digging up dog treats. And I thought Matt was just making a joke about finding random things, but no. You can find a heck of a lot of dog treats. I didn't find all of them.
That, Matt,
I found a lot of them.
I've been to plenty of fancy parties where I spent as much, if not more, time with the cat of the household than any humans who were at the party.
Well, but that's not what I said. What I said is I liked the idea of my Inquisitor being such a fucking weirdo that, like, he's at this big, gorgeous, fancy party and spends the whole time, like, creeping around, digging out people's trash and finding dog bones.
Mm. But every dog bone you find gives you a little boost to Constitution, so it's worth doing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's also worth pointing out that didn't make a fucking lick of difference for me, and I had to turn the game down to casual mode for this finale.
I had
part of that was me being like, I don't fucking care anymore. Like, I finished this game. I get, like, it's not the game's fault. I just get real weird about this stuff where I'm like, I'm done and I want to be done. And the game's like, well, keep doing stuff. Here's harder fights. Like, no.
Let's go through another mirror. You should probably go back. No.
Here's a puzzle.
Oh, yeah. There's some egregious backtracking in the mirror world.
The fights were real tough, and I was over leveled for Corypheus. Like, I beat Corypheus and his dragon down like fucking dogs. And then 2 years later, I guess I lost a step because I was getting my dick beat off. I have never seen my party go through
I want to play
potions.
the version of the game that was.
I've never seen my party go through potions as fast as they did in the first set of fights in this DLC. Like, we went from 12 to 1 in a matter of seconds, and I was like, holy shit.
Well,
like, was I supposed to go grind out 5 more levels?
No, because I didn't. But what because
you're supposed to use that.
You have to use that thing that makes you invincible, and it recharges every 30 seconds. So you have to be hammering and be doing the your magic. What do you call the magic shields? I forget. Barrier. You have to have barrier up all the time, basically, because that makes you invincible. I had Blackwall has an ability that makes him invincible. Like, so basically, it was managing
get
that.
Some sweet amulets that make you you do get an amulet here in this final chunker where it's called like Amulet of Physical Immunity, where you just can't take damage from physical attacks.
I thought it was physical effects. I wasn't sure if it was damage. Oh wow, yeah, I put that on Cassandra.
Magic damage.
That explains why Cassandra was in the dragon fight. Cassandra was the only one who wasn't dying, but she still took some damage. Yeah,
the breath would have hurt her.
Yeah,
and the poison.
So what I already had the kitty collar on, which reduces your health by 50% or something, right?
No, it doesn't. No, it saves you. In fact, I started to rely on this really heavily. If you die, there's like a 75% chance that you bounce back with 50% health.
But I thought it also
it would pop over to like my Inquisitor would die.
I'm pretty sure if you look at the text,
and then they would just stand back up.
There's a negative to it that it does reduce your overall health a lot.
I don't know.
Pretty
I
sure.
didn't see that
because then I
could be wrong.
Then I got there's a belt of electrical damage. There's basically, you find belts of all sorts of damage. And because I focused on electrical attacks, it at least doubles your electrical damage. I was doing crazy damage.
That's cool.
With that was pretty fun. I'll look up that.
So hold on. It's so I've actually got it here. You can block one melee attack every 30 seconds, and on dying, 75% chance to res with half health. And you can resist one lethal strike once every 60 seconds. But it also has minus 100% damage resistance to every type of damage.
Oh yeah,
shit.
I knew it had a big downside.
It's almost, but like I feel like it's still like net good though.
Yeah, for sure.
Still, like net an awesome accessory.
Because I had that, and the belt, the electrical damage belt, also reduced my health. So basically, one hit, and I was down to 1 hit point every time. But I had the kitty collar on, and that didn't kill me because I have the won't die in 1 hit thing, and a lot of times it'll block the attack, so it was fine. But basically, 2 attacks in a row, sometimes I would die, but usually I'd come back, so it was fine. And I usually had shields and invincibility and stuff.
Right.
We'll talk about what happens to your hand.
We're getting ahead of ourselves, and we were talking about Cullen, and we loved that.
It's Matthew and Johnny's strategy and Jim's strategy corner.
And I have no strategy.
Vanessa very much wanted to talk about Vivienne and the cheese on the ice.
I think Johnny wanted to talk about that more than anyone.
So we never really talked about how, as you're exploring this world, there's cheese wheels dotted around every landscape. Like, you'll find just a cheese wheel in the middle of Stonehenge, and a cheese wheel on tables just throughout the game.
I never found a single fucking cheese wheel. I don't know what you're talking about.
They aren't interactable. They're just there. You'll just see them.
Sure,
every
sense.
map has cheese wheels everywhere. It's pretty funny. And so in this case, you're hanging out with Vivienne. Is like, oh, let's do a spa day, dear. You need it. And so you get down to your digital underwears, and they put cheese wheels on your eyes, and they're obviously the same ones from the map, because they aren't they're kind of jittery in a this isn't supposed to happen kind of way.
Yeah, because they're tiny. They're not. Cheese wheels are large. These are the size of silver dollars.
It looked like a
baby
hack.
bells.
It looked like someone Gary's modded this game, and it's pretty funny.
It is really fucking funny. Like, why would you have cheese on your eyes?
Because this game's all about hiding cheese wheels all around every
I don't know.
zone.
Did you say why we had cheese wheels on our eyes? We've talked to Vivienne.
Yeah, doing a spa day.
We're doing a spa day. And for me, I don't know, I imagine the rest of you got this, but for me, I would have a quick conversation with Vivienne, and then we would settle back in our tubs and relax, and then you would hear giggling. And you would see Sarah prancing by in the background.
Dropping hams.
And then after dropping hams all over the floor. So after it was over, I got out of my tub and there were hams everywhere. It fucking legitimately made me laugh out loud. I couldn't fucking believe what had just happened. Johnny just farted and then got a whiff of his own
it
fart
wasn't
in his
me.
mouth.
It wasn't me, Matthew.
Is there is cheese like a recurring thing in this game? Because I found this shield that was made of cheese.
Yeah, I didn't find that this playthrough. I got that last time.
Yeah, there's a shield made of cheese, and the whole description is it's really long, but it's got 5 different references to different kinds of cheese in it.
We talked to Liliana, which I can't remember which one she is. Who is Liliana? Is that the Divine?
For me, she's the Divine now.
The Divine. Okay.
She's the red-haired girl from
Liliana, Josephine, and Cassandra are interchangeable people in my brain. I just don't know what it is. It's not intentional. I don't mean to be rude, but I physically distinguish. I can picture all
There's
three of them,
red
but like
hair,
their
pixie
names.
cut, and,
I could
Spanish
picture
lady.
them, but their names I couldn't tell you. Leon is the divine now. If she's not the divine, what does she do? What's she doing?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah, Jim, tell us.
I do not remember.
Fuck you, Jim.
I just can't.
Stop
could not
playing
care.
fucking 6 months ahead. All right. Well, finally, we talked to Dorian, and you can all imagine how that went for Matthew.
Tell us.
I got dumped.
What? What did you
Dorian's
say?
going back to
What'd you
Deventer,
do?
and he's like, well, I'll always love you, and here's a crystal
Babe,
so that we can communicate
babe,
with each other
here's a
and have
crystal,
a long-distance
babe.
relationship. But also, I'm leaving, and you can't come with me because you're not cool enough for Deventer.
Give you the
It's
cell
like you
phone,
hooked
babe,
up-
so we can like
It's
call.
like you live in fucking Manhattan, Kansas, and you get into a serious relationship with somebody from New York, and they're like, well, I have to move back to New York, babe, but we can definitely still be together, but like you'll never see me again.
Yeah. Like,
Babe, I gotta be a
It's like I gotta
Deventer.
go be in the. It's like I gotta go be in the next game.
yeah.
So just to set it up, I like came upon Dorian, Varric, and a couple other people drinking, and Iron Bull passed out on the ground, which I love.
Yay!
And Varric is like, well, like you must be feeling terrible about Dorian going back to Deventer, huh? And Dorian's like, shut up!
And you're
'Cause he
like,
hadn't told
what?
me yet. Yeah. And I tried to like keep a stiff upper lip. I didn't like cry and be like, but I was not thrilled about it. Like, honestly, like, dude, if you were going to go back, like, why did we do this? And so he dumps me, basically. I mean, not really, I guess, because we're still like in a long distance relationship, but let's be honest. That's not a thing.
Yeah. One of you is going to stray.
We're fucking online.
You're totally gonna see each other every break.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like,
You'll always be my
we-
camp boyfriend.
we went from an IRL relationship to an online relationship, and I gotta be honest with you, that sucks.
Vanessa, did you have a camp boyfriend when you were younger? Because you were a camper, right?
Maybe.
Drama camp.
It was drama by the end of the summer, I'll tell you that much.
What happens if you're not in a relationship with Dorian? He just goes back to Deventer, and you're like, bye, bitch!
Yeah, but he also gave me the special walkie-talkie. He was like, you're my best friend. Here's a special
Wow,
walkie-talkie.
so he didn't even give it to me because he loved me. He gives it to you either way.
He loves me too, but just in a platonic way. There's lots of kinds of love. There's also some weird harlequins sneaking around. Did you guys see any of those?
No.
If you walk around, you'll occasionally see someone dressed as a harlequin, and if you approach them, they disappear in a puff of smoke. But apparently, if you're a rogue and you can go into stealth, you are able to sneak up behind them and, like, catch them. And if you catch all 5 of them, you get a special something.
Okay.
Huh.
So do that on your next playthrough.
10
That'll
years from
literally
tell.
never happen.
I'll set a reminder for 2034
Yeah.
to try that again.
Could you just like say a prayer for my soul, because I'll be dead by then.
Okay.
Aw.
Finally, it's time.
Pancake pie drunk dump truck driver.
Throat slashed.
Finally, it's time for the Exalted Council. It's
I
all
hated this.
kind of buzzing along. Orlais wants the Inquisition to stay intact, but, with just a lot of government oversight from Empress Celine. Frilden wants...
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
What did you all want to have to do with your Inquisition at this point? Like,
I
not
wanted it
even
to
from
be
like a
over.
game perspective of your options. Like, what do you think
I think it should be
would have
done.
been the right thing to do at this point with your Inquisition?
It should be done.
Do you mean me, Vanessa, or me, the Dalish Inquisitor?
Why not both?
The Dalish Inquisitor was never, super into the whole Andraste thing and just kind of wants to go home to her clan, so I think she's fine to be done with it. Except that I really want to find Solus. He's my boo. He's my boo and no one can find him. Me, Vanessa? I'll never
Yeah.
let go of power. Pretty Princess Queen of Thedas forever.
Well, now,
What about you, Johnny?
you have a problem because you're both Queen of Thedas and usurping power from the Queen of Thedas.
I know, it's tricky, isn't it?
Oh, man. Did John just mispronounce that word, or have I mispronounced it my whole life?
Usurping?
Is it not usurping?
No.
I think it probably is.
I think, let's see, how would I say it naturally? I have to get both of your voices out of my head.
I just
Usurping.
assume any bad. I could be, Matt, I'm very comfortable either mispronouncing it or pronouncing it the Canadian way, whichever
I
way
feel
you
like
wanna
that's a
look at
word I've never heard said out loud, so like I don't have a problem being wrong.
Usurping.
I always thought it was usurp.
Yeah, usurp.
Yeah, usurping.
Usurp.
it. I guess usurping is just
Well,
bad
everybody
Johnny
knows that the
pronunciation.
American accent is the correct accent, so... What about you, John? What did you want to do here?
There wasn't a lot of options about taking down the Inquisition. It seemed like no matter what, you had to kind of defend it, right?
No, I definitely was able to tell at least the Ferelden ambassador, like, yeah, I think we should break the Inquisition up. I think it's over.
Yeah, I think I was going that way, but it felt like, I don't know, it felt like I was getting pushed into having to defend it, and it was really weird. Maybe I just chose some wrong choices.
Well, all your friends don't, like, they don't want the party to ever die, right? Like, they're like, what are we supposed to do? We love this. And it's like,
Yeah,
we're
we
done.
all live at Skyhold in that same house. Are we not going to have our house anymore? What are you talking about?
I defended the Inquisition. I was like, you've all proven to be like almost pretty much too inept to govern yourselves. Like, I'm just gonna sit back here and like help where I can. They're always like getting into wars, or they're all super racist, or like
fair.
all of these little governments they have all implode all the time. So I was like, I'll still hang out, fix stuff.
Well, to answer my own question, I was very, and as I just said, I was very much like, there's no reason for this Inquisition anymore. And like, in fact, they really like hammer it home at the end of this chunker. But my thinking on this is like, there's no way this doesn't go wrong eventually. Like, there's no reason for this to continue. We're done. We did what we set out to do. Why should we continue to exist? It passed our initial goal. Now we're just another shitty power-grabbing group. You know.
Yeah, but this
Anyway,
is
so
different
that's-
because I'm in
interesting.
charge. I'm in charge of this one.
That's what every fascist says. So anyway,
Well, we're interrupted in our meeting by a note from Liliana, which is pretty funny because in my game, Liliana is the divine and she's like sitting right there. But we make our excuse.
Yeah, she's passing notes in class, haven't you?
She is.
Oh, no. Vanessa wasn't or was like, no, that's against the rules. I would never do that.
I would never, ever do that. We are called to a sort of closet storage room in the palace, and there is a dead Qunari there. What?
Whoopsie.
We're tasked with finding out where he came from, and we follow a trail of blood all the way to an alluvion. That's right. It's mirror time again.
Yay!
So many mirrors.
So many mirrors in this game. We pop on through there, and we're on the Elf Highway. And
I would sing Man in the Mirror. I don't remember how that song goes.
I won't sing it because I don't want to spread that kind of juju on our podcast. So we follow the Qunari through the mirror, and we encounter our first mirror world, the Elven Mountain Ruins. This is sort of a series of towers connected by other mirrors. And it's occupied by Qunari and the spirits of deceased elves. Which
I'm looking at the man in the
no,
mirror.
thank you, please.
I'm looking at the man in the mirror.
Definitely cut out that singing. No,
What's wrong with my singing?
I am not.
What's wrong with Man in the Mirror?
What song is that?
It's a Michael Jackson song, and ever since I watched that documentary, I cannot hear his music without thinking about them boys.
Oh boy, Dem Boys.
Thinking about them
Thinking
boys.
about them boys.
Well, that took a dark turn.
there's a whole bunch of elven spirits, which you losers all had to fight, but not Vanessa.
What? Fuck you. That's because you're banging Solus, you
It's not because I'm
slut.
banging Solus.
There, now cut that for sure.
It's because I opened my mouth up wide and I sucked down all that sweet, sweet well water. Nom 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 nom.
Wait, did we talk about what Solus did to Flemeth?
We did talk about what Solus did to Flemeth last time. But because I had drank of Mythal's well, when these spirits came and started speaking to me in ancient Elvish, I was like, oh, I know what to say to them. And I said something to them, and they were like, oh, cool, you're one of us. Awesome. Have a good time walking around here and never, ever fighting any elven spirits.
Those
I just
elven
saw the
spirits,
picture that Vanessa posted in the chat.
those elven spirits were like.
So
there's one
good.
point where a bunch of
They're hard.
elven dagger people surround you. I think it's right after you get your glowy fist, because you get a glowy fist upgrade.
Oh.
And that fight was super hard.
Yeah, I never.
Yeah, what
had
happens with the
any-
glowy fist? We've talked about it, but we haven't explained it.
Well, we haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So, yeah, I was delighted not to have to fight these elven guys. I think I didn't even realize that you might have to fight them until I was writing up the notes for this stuff. We do find some lore about the Dread Wolf scattered around, things about him freeing slaves and sucking the tattoos off their faces. So it turns out I'm not even the first woman he's sucked a tattoo off a face. It's pretty damning, but I also was really proud to read about my boo being, a liberator.
Your boob?
That sounds like a pretty cool guy, actually.
He's a
Why
really
is your
cool
boob
guy.
a liberator?
Why is he a liberator?
Yeah, your boob.
Not my boob.
Oh.
My boob has done a lot of good for the world, though. I read somewhere that if men look at cleavage, it lowers their blood pressure or something.
Oh, that's
I don't know.
nice.
It's a service.
Hey
It's
guys,
service.
take a look at this. Yeah.
Service we're doing for the world, Johnny. We do enter a dark room, and this is where we get our new ability, Anchor Discharge.
Yay!
Basically just makes our glowing hand more glowy.
It also means that it's recharging focus all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nice. And also, when you discharge it, it does make you invulnerable for
Not yet,
I don't know
it
how
don't.
long.
Yeah, it does. Even from the
Yeah,
first
that's
one.
the first thing it does, is it makes you invulnerable.
Because
Because there's all those blue fire spots around.
Yeah,
and
you
I
can
kept dying in them.
invulnerable
I thought that
yourself.
wasn't until
Yeah,
the second
invulnerable.
upgrade that you got the invulnerability.
Nope,
Invulnerable.
it's the first one for sure.
Cool.
Say it right then. Invulnerable.
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 That's how Ernest says it.
Venerable.
Hey, Vern, are you
Hey, Vern.
invulnerable?
Say it then. What is the correct pronunciation?
Invulnerable.
Invulnerable.
Invulnerable. VULN. Invulnerable. But it's
You
You read the
Invulnerable.
comic and watched the TV show. It's
That's
called
Invincible, dipshit.
Invulnerable. Oh.
All right,
That's
let's keep
invincible.
going.
So
when do we start? Oh yeah, this is right about when we start finding Kunari notes around, because you find remnants of a Kunari force that has been murdered by these stabby spirits. And then there's Kunari notes, and my main character's like, there's all these notes in the Kunari language. I guess no one here can speak it. And I didn't have Iron Bull in the party. I'm like, but aren't you Kunari, ma'am?
Yeah.
You, the main character? And this will keep getting worse.
Clearly not written for you to have been a Kunari.
Mm-hmm. Which is weird because at this point, the game had already been out. This is a year later. They knew that they'd added different races. Why didn't they just add a little bit of extra dialogue? I don't know. So we find a bunch of notes. It basically says, we're the Kunari. We're up to something. We're super going to blow up the Winter Palace and all the other palaces everywhere. So we head back and talk to our advisors about that. They find a new alluvion for us to go through. This one leads to the Deep Roads.
Yay!
We have to sort of stumble around in the darkness using our glowy hand as a light bulb. And
you can go around and talk to everybody when you go back to the Winter Palace.
Mm-hmm, I did.
And Iron Bull, yeah, me too. And Iron Bull was very much like, boss, I don't know what's going on, but these Qunari are definitely not supposed to be there. And this is not authorized. I've checked with my Ben Hasreth contacts, and this is for sure not a legit operation.
I talked to him, and he was like, I don't know what's going on. I'm Talvishoth. Like, remember, I'm not Qunari anymore, but, like, these guys seem like they suck. I don't know. So we stumble around. We come across a Templar named Jaren, who joined the Qun. Jaren! But he is having second thoughts now. And he's like, these Qunari seem kind of crazy. Like, they just want to blow everything up. So I don't know.
Yeah, he's from Kirkwall and specifically references, like, Dragon Age 2.
Mm-hmm. It's like,
and he starts telling you about someone named Vidal Sassoon.
Yeah, Vidal Sassoon.
The lady, she's like a Qunari higher up, and she's the one in charge of whatever this is that's going down.
Well, he tells us what it's called. It's called Dragon's Breath.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They are
Operation Dragon's Breath.
Infusing their mages, who I can't remember what they're called, with lyrium.
Mm-hmm.
And Iron Bull's like, no fucking way would we ever do that. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. So not Qun.
And Varric's like, they don't even know what they're doing and how bad this is going to turn out for them.
Mm.
They also talk about how only dwarves can mine lyrium. And the guy's like, nah, the Qun are pretty fucking smart, actually, which I kind of liked. I really kind of liked the idea of, like, all these people are like, only the dwarves can do that. And somebody else comes along and it's like, well, what if we just figure it out? Like,
the Qunari definitely seem to be the most technologically advanced culture.
Yeah, because they have gunpowder.
Sure. Mm-hmm, they have gunpowder.
Sure.
They have all of these cranes and mines that they've set up, and we decide to just straight up blow them up.
Yay!
Yeah, I also learned at this point that the easiest way to defeat mobs of enemies is to lure them over towards a batch of Gatlock and set it off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because it will fucking blow them all to hell.
It's pretty delightful.
Pretty fun.
After we blow up their mining operation, we head back to the Winter Palace, and we're informed that there's been an incident between an Inquisition soldier and an elven servant. The servant seems to have been hauling a bunch of this explosive Gatlock around, and we have to choose to jail either the servant or the soldier. Who'd you choose?
Why would you?
I didn't like this false decision it made me make, because my decision would have been lock them both the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Till I know what's going on, I don't trust any of y'all motherfuckers.
Well, I locked up the servant, and
yeah, same.
Then the soldier says, oh, here's a note they had. It is translated by Liliana. It leads us to our next alluvion, which takes us to the Shattered Library. And this is where we find...
Just to be clear, hang on, just to be clear, you always go back through the same alluvion.
Yes.
In the dungeon at the Winter Palace.
But more paths open up on the highway.
Yeah, a new path always opens up. So, like, it's weird because you don't do anything. It just happens.
Mm-hmm. At the library is the game's best Easter egg. If you go around to the back of the building that you arrive in, you find a camp with a little diary, and the diary reads, enchantment, enchantment, enchantment.
There's also a Qunari who has been pegged to the wall with a bunch of pegs through his body.
Mm-hmm. Yep. As we recall from...
So is Enchantment Guy dead?
As we
he just killed the
from
Qunari.
Origins, he is... remember in Origins, you walk into the room and, like, everyone's dead around
he's
him?
like... Isn't he, like, possessed by a spirit or something?
He's just very powerful.
Yeah, I think Sandal's the most powerful character in the game. He's obviously just been hanging out in this elven highway doing whatever it is he does. I hope he'll come back in Dreadwolf. So now we're in the library. We meet the library's archivist, who's a spirit, but she's kind of malfunctioning or amnesiac or something like that. She doesn't seem to quite have all the information that she used to have.
Yeah, she's splintered.
Mm-hmm. Because of the veil, we learn a little bit more about the veil. It seems like the world used to be, completely combined of magic and material, and then the veil was artificially created. Who would do such a thing?
Well, you see art of who does it. You see him doing it.
Yeah.
And it's weird because it seems to be presenting Solus being the Dreadwolf as a surprise, even though you've already seen it.
Yeah, even though we already know that he's the Dreadwolf. Turns out this whole veil thing that was 100% Solus is doing.
This was my favorite level of this chunker. I liked this Shattered Library. It was cool.
Mm-hmm. It has lots of rooms. It has lots of little puzzles that you can do. It has
There was one involving Veilfire, and I couldn't find a Veilfire source.
It's at the back of the first building.
Yeah,
behind
you have to go all the way back
statue.
and
you don't have to light it. It's
then...
just there. You can always just take a
right?
torch out of a Veilfire.
I found another one where you have to you press a button on this Dreadwolf statue, and then you have to run to where the circle of Veilfire things is before the time runs out, and light the torch, and then run back.
Oh, that's the one.
Is that where the big Dreadwolf statue was?
There was a big one, and then there was another one later. The mural was earlier. This was
the only one
else.
I did successfully was the one in the gatehouse right at the end. There was a one where you had to light fires in the.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found
one
thing where if you do get the Veilfire in the library, there's a a rune symbol on the ground. Throughout the game, we've seen these symbols, and we can illuminate them with Veilfire.
I couldn't do anything with it.
Well, they teach you how to make runes.
They teach you how to make runes. This one, however, I walked over to and illuminated, and it just said "behind you," and then I turned around, and there was a big demon there. It was a jump scare.
Oh, what?
There was one Illuvion that was kind of hidden off to the side that I went through, and there's level 26 demons. They had skulls over them. They're dude, the game's telling you not to fight them because they just killed me. So I was like, I guess I'm under-leveled for this thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some optional battles that can be pretty tough around here. So we run through the library. We do our little puzzles. We finally do get to meet the Vidisala, and she has a little monologue. She's like, ha ha ha, it's me, the evil Vidisala, but guess what?
Vidal Sassoon.
You suck. It's the whole hole in the sky was your fault, and you're in league with the dude who did it.
Yeah, they're constantly accusing you of being an agent for Dreadwolf.
Mm-hmm. And our character at that point is just Dreadwolf? I've never heard of him.
What's a Dreadwolf?
The who? The who now?
He or she definitely should know who the Dreadwolf is, though, right?
Yeah. I mean, we as the player, I think, have pretty well figured it out by now. So it's
my character knows who Fenharel is. Maybe because she's a mage? I don't know. It's weird.
I mean, my daily shelf definitely knew who Fenharel was, but was not, down with it being soulless yet, I don't think.
So are you talking about the bit where you finally meet Vidal Sassoon?
This is the bit where we first meet Vidal Sassoon.
Yeah, she's like, oh, your people of Ferelden cannot handle magic. We're gonna go over there and just to wait until things calm down, and we'll take care of things and finally get Ferelden and Orlais to until we figure out what's going on. You guys are gonna be under our control. And I'm like, you guys, we look identical. We look like sisters. Have you not noticed at any point I am Kunari? and it's never mentioned. I guess she's like, oh, I don't want to mention that. You know, like I'm
But
not going
you're
to
not
assume things about you because
Cunari,
of your
you're
Yeah,
Talvashar.
you're
So don't they also know that the Dreadwolf is back? And they're like, hey, things are about to get real weird and sucky. You guys obviously can't take care of it yourselves because you had no idea the Dreadwolf was in your party for the whole
Idiots.
game. So we're gonna do this for you. Yeah.
Well, we have to fight her minions. We get a little keystone. And then the archivist pops up and she's like, hey, I know where they're going. They're going to the Darvard. They're going to Darvard. You need a special password to get through. Here's the password. Here's your key. Get going.
And we're like, well,
Password
finally,
is
it's time for
Darvard.
us to go back to the Winter Palace.
Yeah. Check in with everyone.
All right,
And
this
here's
final one, I didn't go talk to anybody. I was like, I don't fucking care.
And when you go back to the Winter Palace here, everyone is angry. And I drop an F-bomb to get them to shut up.
Yeah, it was
Really?
pretty great.
Did you drop an F-bomb, Vanessa?
I did not.
I did not, but I did have the option to do so, should I
I
choose.
must have missed this.
I sure did. It was great.
Yeah, because
So why are they arguing?
Glowing and freaking out, and you can finally be like, "This fucking thing is killing me." And everyone's like, "Oh, mother. Oh, wow, we didn't realize she was dying. Wow, mother."
Because everyone was like, what is going on? We've totally failed. The Inquisition was a bust. And Josephine's just super upset. Like, and Cullen, everyone's feeling like they haven't been helping and in fact have been making things worse.
Yeah, there seemed to be some indication that the Inquisition itself has been infiltrated by some of these agents of Fen'Haral. The elven
Yeah,
servants
I mean, but
everywhere
we know
are
that.
acting weird.
We 100% know that. Jim, what are you taking shots of over there?
Oh, nice.
Tic Tacs.
It's less fun.
just need
than
one.
what I thought you were doing.
I
thought
think
he was
it's
just
more
casually-
fun than what I thought he
I
was
thought
doing.
he was just casually shooting whiskey on the show, just like.
They're winter green Tic
That
Tacs.
sounds delicious.
They're my favorite.
I like cinnamon icebreakers.
Very good. Yeah, see, I don't like cinnamon stuff.
So,
Do the cinnamon challenge. Do it now.
So yeah, we're like, everything sucks. The mark on our hand is killing us. We have to go get this Vidisala, and here we go. One big final push. We follow the Vidisala to the Darvard and make our way through a big sealed door, and we see that the dragon's breath is a dragon. Turns out their code name was not that
Wasn't
good.
that clever?
Yep.
Not very
this is
clever,
when the Vidisala appears, and in my case, Iron Bull was in my party, and the Vidisala was like, "Hey, Hisron, how about you kill this Inquisitor?" And of course, Iron Bull was there with his boyfriend Dorian. He looked at her and he said, "Not a chance, ma'am." And we defeated her forces, and then Dorian was like, "Oh, are you all right, my darling?" And he's like, "Oh, never better, Kadan." He has a special pet name for Dorian, and
Aww.
everything's great. So I assume that's what happened for everyone else, right, Jim?
No, this actually pissed me off because I didn't get to be best friends with Iron Bull, but he was in my party the entire game. We were the Bash Bros, like from Mighty Ducks. We swung our big axes around and killed stuff, and it was super fun.
Spy.
He was my best friend.
He told you he was a spy, and then he met you.
And then Vidal Sassoon is like, "Hey, time to betray your best friends," and he's like, "Sure thing, boss." And
He's
then
like,
he just
"Nothing
kills
personal,
you.
boss." And he did it to me too. He did it to me too. All right, listen, I get that I chose to save the Dreadnought over his best friends, the Chargers. But I did that specifically because, like, I don't want you to become Talvashar. That doesn't seem to be what you want. And it sucks that your friends are gonna die. But like, we got to do the right thing here. And this is what I get. This is what I get for backing up him and what he wanted, is that then he fucking betrays me, and you have to kill him. And he's dead. Well, and you can't even, like, loot all his shit off his corpse. It really pissed me off.
He stole all those great items.
It's true.
That's too bad.
He definitely had the strongest fucking two-handed blade in the game.
Yeah, but who else do you equip with two-handed blades?
Yeah, I guess, but still.
Myself.
So I, meanwhile, had saved the Chargers. He didn't romance Dorian, but he still was like, as soon as she asked him, he's like, not a chance. There was no question in his mind. He was with me, and we had a good time.
Great, and fuck you.
I think when he turned on me, I sent Vanessa a message on Google Chat, and it was fuck you, Iron Bull.
If you have subtitles on, there's a fun little thing here where he's been calling you boss, B-O-S-S, throughout the game. When he says nothing personal, boss, he says B-A-S, which is the Qunari word for foreigner, but can also mean just an object or thing.
Oh.
Cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean,
well, he was cool with me.
Yeah.
That's Qunari for dumbass. He said it his way. It means
I do kind of
Qunari for bitch.
I like the idea that you have this character who's told you from the very beginning that he's a spy, that he's loyal to the Qunari and always will be, and then in the end he's like, yeah, I'm a spy and I'm loyal to the Qunari and always will be. What are you expecting?
Well, he got what he got then, didn't he? He got fucking murdered. And then I had to go fight this dragon with only 3 party members.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I did do that too.
Yeah, I blew through all my
sucks.
potions. I kept trying to free the dragon. There's like 2 switches, and I kept pulling them. And I was like, shoo, and like throwing rocks at it, like, go. I don't love you, go. And the dragon refused to leave. And finally, like, I was down to my last, like, 1 potion and was like, okay, well, desperate times call for desperate measures. And I went and murdered that fucking dragon.
I was able to free it, but I had to Google how to do it.
I have a question.
How do you do it?
Wait, if Iron Bull wasn't in your party though, does nothing happen with him?
I think he shows up.
Right? Oh, okay.
No, he doesn't. He's
like,
fucking
if he's not
dead.
In your party,
No, I mean,
his corpse is on the ground.
No. I mean, like when he betrays you, like if he's not in your party, does that whole thing just not happen?
Like, hey, I'm here to surprise.
Oh, okay.
But I could be wrong.
I don't know, man. This hit me hard because, listen, I guess I made the wrong choices with Iron Bull. I mean, I was trying to play a bad guy. I did it bad. But I guess I made the wrong choices with Iron Bull. But, like, he was my favorite character in the game.
I think it's really good storytelling, actually.
And it's sucked.
Yeah.
And also, Tom Rainer's gone. So for my final party, I had to bring in Cassandra, who I had not used from the very second I could not use her. I just wanted nothing to do with Cassandra.
Yeah, I think it's good writing, actually. I think it's good. It's a powerful consequence of your decisions throughout the game.
Okay, I guess, except my decisions were based off of, like, trying to do right by my friend.
Sure. Sometimes that's life, Matt. You try to do right, and it has unforeseen consequences. That's why, just like that crazy old lady in KOTOR 2 told us, we should never try to do any good.
She was right.
She did say that.
She warned you.
I disagree with her.
She was right.
To free the dragon, you have to sort of do a turning circle puzzle. And then you have
want to talk about... We've been talking about pronunciations a lot in this episode. Do we want to talk about dragon?
No.
Dragon.
Dragon?
I don't say dragon strangely, do
dragons?
I?
Dragon? Yes.
Wagon.
Say wagon.
Dragon.
Say dragon.
Now you're saying it right. That's not how you said
How
it.
you said it earlier.
Dragon.
To free the dragon, you have to use your hand blast to blast away some debris that's blocking the wheels from turning. Yep.
What wheels?
There's like...
Oh, the fire wheels?
Yeah, you have to turn the fire wheels so the dragon has a little path.
Okay.
You have to open both of the doors.
How would you have known to do that?
I figured it out.
That would interact with the environment in that way.
Yeah, well,
oh, you did?
It did take me like an hour. But like first, like there's three things you can turn
for an hour.
No, I stayed alive for like 10 minutes each time while I was trying to figure it out because I had the kitty thing and
for me it was like I was like I want to free this dragon, and then I tried and hit, like I said, I hit the point where I was like I gotta kill this thing. But also, part of me was like, I've killed like 100 of these things. Like, killing dragons is my fucking hobby in this game, basically. Like, what do I care? Why shouldn't I kill this dragon? Mm-hmm. If I let it free, it's just going to go terrorize the countryside, and I'm going to have to go kill it in the fucking exalted plains or something.
I thought it was fun, but there's one crank that if you turn, they're like, I got to clear out this debris first, and so eventually I just had it down because it's super annoying because first you have to clear out the debris, which you can blow up because either with a spell or with your blow up ability. There is some garnet. What's it called? Gunlock.
Gatlock. I'll tell you what was fucking annoying is I kept telling these stupid motherfuckers in my party to hold their position in front of the wheels, and every time I switched back to the Inquisitor and went and tried to do something else, I would turn around and they would be fighting the fucking dragon.
I did try to tell you that the wheel most to the right is the only one you need to turn. You don't even need to touch the other ones.
Wow.
I swear to God, I did hit a point where one of the wheels, it was like, you can't operate this wheel. And I guess that was my sticking point that I didn't realize.
You have to go blow up the debris.
But, like I said, they fucked me over. The game fucked me over because every time I tried to figure out what to do, I would turn around and my fucking idiot party members, Dorian and Sarah, would be guzzling potions and instantly dying. And I was just like, fucking, I hate you all. Can you just listen to me? I told you to hold your position, and yet for some reason you're in the middle of the arena shooting at the dragon, Sarah. Will you fucking stop it?
And then so even after you've done the wheel puzzle part, which is just rotating the rightmost crank, then you have to go move two people and pull on a thing at the same time. And that, like, you have to go into tactical mode, move both people. They'll always try to run back to the dragon, and even when you tell them to hold position, and it's just... Yeah, it took a few tries to get right.
I did everything right except for blowing up the shit in the way of the rightmost thing.
Yeah. That's it.
But you know what? I didn't feel bad about it. I killed that dragon. What you do get
in return is that the dragon does kill off the next encounter. Like, it just immediately kills everything on the other side of the bridge, which is great.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting.
There was a lot of encounters and was annoying.
The Vitisala has escaped through another Illuvian, and wait,
there's like 5 more.
I know.
Every time there's another Illuvian, I was getting madder.
I thought this was it, and when she escaped and I went back to the Winter Palace, I almost threw my controller across the house. Like, I was so fucking mad.
Meanwhile, your hand is getting worse and worse. Now it's like... I think it's right after this that it gets to the point that it'll do like super damage to anything around you, but if you do not discharge it before the 3 meters fill up, it will injure you and everyone around you.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it's really fucking obvious when it's time. Like,
unless you forget to pause the game,
flying off of your Inquisitor like crazy.
Unless you forget to pause the game while you're in the bathroom.
Okay, well, yeah. Also, at this point, when you discharge your hand, it will like throw you back 10 feet, which is pretty cool. You can use it to blow up the Gatlock barrels.
Oh, I didn't try that.
It's neat. Oh, I did it constantly. It was a good time.
Yeah. That sounds
like fun. And you're
invincible,
so you can blow up everything without hurting yourself.
Oh, yeah. Good point. So we're chasing this Vitisala, and then she decides to bring out the big guns and sick her giant Seraph at us. It's like a Kunari mage. And he's, like, big for some reason. I guess it's the lyrium infusion. He's just super big.
Yeah, he's really big.
Mm-hmm. He's a big boy.
he's super big. We do him a fight.
His mask falls off.
Yeah,
Does it?
Yeah.
his mask
There's a little
falls
cutscene,
off.
and then and Iron Bull's like, well, he's off the leash now.
Yeah, his chain breaks.
Who? The traitor that's dead?
Oh, sorry.
No, the Dorian's lover who's alive and well.
Yeah.
Oh, the Inquisitor.
No,
You mean the Inquisitor then?
No,
You're
I mean
confused.
Iron Bull, who they exchange like little pet names for each other, and they're very much in love.
We exchange little pet names for each other.
I'll bet you do.
That is Maddie Waddy. Vanessa is
It's
Ness.
Bronny Jandon. Thank you very much.
And he calls Dorian his mustache ride.
And Dorian calls him his mustache ride because Bronny Jandon has a super cool handlebar mustache.
Whoa, it's like those dueling coaster rides where they have 2 tracks.
That sounds fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
They
it's just
have
like
that?
2 roller coasters that are kind of next to each other, and then they act like they're...
Oh, I thought like you meant they were going imagine going in an opposite direction of another roller
Yeah.
coaster that was super close
That
to you.
sounds dangerous.
That would be so scary. Yeah.
So we fight the Seraph. We then have to chase through some more Kunari troops, and we fight the Seraph one last time. It gets kind of tough. It's like a tough final boss battle, but we take him down.
I was leaning pretty hard on my kitty collar, so. But
You have to lean on kitty color. You have to use your hand discharge at certain points to stun him.
And break his shield. Well, you have to go inside his little shield bubble and then blow it up.
But
Oh, yeah.
finally, we take him down.
Right.
We're able to go through one more beer, and here we'll finally, I guess, confront the
One more
Vinsala
beer?
and have a
One more
big
beer?
fight. One
you
more
say so.
one more
beer.
beer.
My
Yeah,
goodness. You guys are bullying me. Oh, this must be how
Oh,
Jim
yeah.
feels all the time.
Yeah, it is. That's why he's always lashing out at us.
And
True.
in this final section, we find a bunch more Kunari troops, but they have been totally stonified and are statuinated. And there we finally see
Stoned.
the beautiful bald head of Solus, the Dread Wolf himself.
And he's hanging out with Vidal Sassoon. You must have been so jealous.
He's hanging out with Vidal Sassoon, and Vidal Sassoon is like, "What's up? I hate you, Dread Wolf. I'm totally gonna kill you." And he's like, "Oh yeah, cool." And then just like thinks at her and turns her into stone. Then he turns to me. He looks at me with his sad, loving eyes, and he's like, "Oh, it's you, my love. I'm, so happy and also sad to see you, my darling." How do you react to you guys, since you are not super duper in love?
Well, I did charge at him with the intent of killing him.
How dare you?
Well, actually, no, that's not true. I was even before I did that, I was having hand cramps, and he did help me with the hand cramp, and I was like, "Thanks, now I can kill you." And I went and charged after him. I was trying to get the Mass Effect 3 bad ending, but he doesn't kill you. He just reactivates your hand, and you get more hand cramps.
Oh, ouch.
That Mass Effect 3 ending is the
That
worst.
is when we played it last time. That's the ending I got.
It was a great ending.
Oh, man.
Yeah, for my character, she's basically like, "I can't believe you're the Dread Wolf, but I still, I don't think you should try to tear down the veil and destroy the world. And I have to try to stop you." And he's like, "Yeah, I know you do." And I said, "I'm really going to try to get you to come to your senses and drop your plan." And we shared a tender kiss. Well, my hand was going off like crazy.
So how did it feel to kiss
Kind of.
Fantasy Hitler?
He's not
It's not
fantasy
Fantasy
Hitler.
Hitler.
He's more fantasy Kaczynski.
Yeah.
I think he
Just blow up
is.
the world.
Look, he thought that it would be a really good idea to make the veil. And when he did, all of the elven, technology that relied on magic all fell apart. And elves maybe were separated from their souls, if you believe some fan theories. Some people think that the elves actually just are spirits, and they're like the physical form of spirits, and their spirit selves are stuck behind the veil. But anyway, he feels really bad about doing the veil, and he's just going to undo it now. And I was like, well, if you do that, then won't all those old elven gods that you said were so dangerous and killed Mythal come back? Excuse me. And he's like, oh yeah, I have plans for them. And I want to be like, bro, all of your plans have been really bad. You had a plan to make the veil. You did that and it ruined everything. You had a plan to get Corypheus to open up the sky. Mm-hmm. And it was really awful and everyone died. So what if instead of you doing your next plan, which is to take down the veil, we try to think of something together? No, he's not into that. But I did tell him that I would try to save him.
I told him that I'm coming to stop him and kill him. And he's like, yes, I know you will. You'll try.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what he's.
Wow.
That's what I said too.
I can't believe you all.
I was mad at him. He's like, I understand that you're mad.
Well, I'm mad too, but I still love him.
But he never told me why although I didn't know why, he never mentioned anything about Mythal. And you said that there was going to be some explanation.
The whole reason he made the veil in the first place was that the other gods killed Mythal.
Right, but why did he stone Mythal? Why did he stone Mythal? Why did he?
Why'd he do that?
I never got an answer to that.
Get her out of the way while he takes the veil down,
Oh, okay, that does make sense.
I'm sure
he refused to divulge any. He refused to divulge any real information about his plan or why he felt like he needed to do this to me. And specifically, it seemed like he was doing that because he didn't want to help me, which that makes sense.
He's not going to help you stop him.
At the very least, it feels like obviously it's setting up the big villain for the next game, him, and I mean, I don't know. I'm a little torn because I felt like it was a little bit well, we haven't written that yet. But also as a smarter villain than Corypheus, who's just, egocentric and constantly tells you his plans because he doesn't think you can stop him. Mm-hmm. This felt a little more true to life.
I think he said all we needed to know when he went to go leave and turned around and said, want to know more?
Yeah.
Check out Dragon Age 5 coming in
Dragon Age
2025.
It's coming.
Dragon Age 4. Mm-hmm. Dragon Age 4. Yeah.
I guess for me, at least, this does provide the context for why people were freaking out when they announced that Dragon Age 4 is called Dreadwolf.
Yeah.
And it's because we're going to have to murder Solus, which, I'm happy to do that. Never liked him. Never wanted him in my fucking party. The minute I got another mage, I ditched his ass. Didn't even do his, companion quest. Didn't give a shit about this bald piece of shit.
I think he's super great. His whole deal was just liberating slaves from his fellow elven gods who aren't really gods. It was just him and his 7 buddies who elevated themselves to godhood. And then he changed his mind.
He did murder a lot of people to do that.
He does murder a lot of people.
And now he does want to kill everybody that lives on the planet because of reasons.
Not everybody. Not the elves.
Are you sure about that?
No, I'm not actually sure. I'm not really sure what will happen if the veil comes down. So after we part ways from Solus, it's smash cut back to the Winter Palace where the Exalted Council is bickering about what to do. and our Inquisitor comes sweeping into the room. And it's time to decide if we'll keep the Inquisition going. We can become the personal force for the Divine, or we can disarm.
Again, I felt like I had some like forced choices here, because I spent this DLC chunker, as I said earlier, thinking and planning to break the Inquisition up. Like, what are we here for? Like, this doesn't need to continue. And now suddenly we've got a very serious and real reason to exist. And the game did not give me the option to be like, fuck you. I believe I'll continue to do whatever the fuck I want. Because that's what I wanted to do. And instead it gives you 2 options. It gives you 6 options, but really those 6 options boil down to 2 options.
Well, it's sort of been made clear that the Inquisition has been infiltrated by Fenriral's agents, and if we continue to operate the way we have been, we risk
We're an Inquisition. We can handle that.
Oh, maybe we can, maybe we can't. But I chose to...
No, maybe we won't get the option.
Disarm. Do you guys... I wrote this really good joke about disarm. You know, you get it? Because at the end...
It was a good joke. Yeah, she does. She does lose an arm.
Yep.
I felt like it was weird because he's like, "Yeah, that arm." Solus is like, "That arm's gonna kill you. Sorry about that." And but then, like, cut to now she doesn't have an arm.
Yeah, that was. I agree. Solus like doesn't fix, but like temporarily, like. Sorry, I got them hic burps. Solus like temporarily fixes your arm. And I was like, okay, cool. And then it cuts to, I don't know, however much longer later, and you just don't have an arm anymore. Was this an option all along? Why didn't I get a say in this matter?
When I first played Trespasser, I thought that Solus had cut the Inquisitor's arm off. But I realize now that that was just an inference that I made. There's no indication that that's what happened.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But I don't think there's any actual indication that's the case.
No, because actually when he left, my Inquisitor still had 2 arms.
Yeah, no, he's like, oh, this is going to kill you. And then you cut forward and you've just apparently chosen the third path of chopping your own arm off.
I assume Iron Bull did it for me with his, big axe, like a nice clean cut.
Well, Iron Bull's dead, so...
And you're not going to go...
Because I killed him.
I mean... If I were you, Matt, what I would be doing is starting this game over, making sure you don't kill the Chargers.
Once again, Vanessa tries me to not be on the show because she's like, don't play Bayonetta. Replay Dragon Age.
That's what I've been doing.
Vanessa, I welcomed you onto this show with open arms.
With open arms, wide open.
And now 8 years later, you still seem to think that instead of joining the show, your intention is to push me out of the show.
It's a coup. And there's nothing you can do.
It's a long con.
It's a long con.
You're trying to usurp my position.
I am. I got my chief right here. Help me out.
Yeah. Look at this great bat that I gave you for your birthday.
Bat.
My squishmallow. So,
And yet you're trying to squish mellow me off of the Square Roots podcast by demanding I replay Dragon Age Inquisition instead of Bayonetta.
I did say instead of.
Yeah, you just said, replay it.
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea that next season you all will spend the episodes talking about Bayonetta, and then I will have Matt's Dragon Age Inquisition replay corner.
I like that idea, too. There's so much we never got to talk about.
This time I'm a girl, and I'm banging Sarah instead of Dorian.
Good luck.
I don't know that I would like that. I really like Sarah. The childlike quality of that character makes me feel like I would be too uncomfortable trying to
It's all the
sleep with her.
rage. I told you about that.
Well, can we talk about
movie.
the ending cards? Can we talk about the ending card so I can tell you what happened to my Inquisitor?
Well, yes, but
Matt's Poor Things playthrough of Dragon Age Inquisition.
let's talk about. I chose to disarm the Inquisition and just have my little gang go after Solus.
I was
How
like,
about you,
well,
Jim?
no, I did the same thing.
Oh,
I thought
no,
about
did we
staying
all do
on.
it?
No, I thought about
He
staying
doesn't
on
remember.
No, I thought about staying on to help Vivienne, but the ending I got for Vivienne when it said she was divine, that she kind of sucked. So I was like, I don't want to. I feel like I would be starting the next game off on a bad foot if I was the Inquisitor. If I was doing that, like I would just like fucking everything up politically. So I was like, you know what? We'll just figure it out.
How about you, Matt?
I chose to become the personal security service for the Divine. Vivienne. No.
Liliana.
Josephine.
Liliana.
One of them. And I can't tell women apart, I guess. I'm sorry. I know that that's going to get me canceled, but that is, I guess, the truth. I decided to become the personal security force for the Divine. And I guess the outro cards, the ending story was that she made some tough decisions and there were some rebellions, but she shut them all down. And yeah, she's the boss. She's the boss now. She was my spy master. Now she's the boss.
Johnny, what happened in your end cards?
Well,
Who's the boss?
I did say no more Inquisition, so I had the same thing as most of you, except for Matthew.
Matt, hi. My name
But
is Matt.
Because it goes through what happens to every character, and my thing for Sarah was that my Inquisitor went and you see a really cool image of her on a rooftop with Sarah shooting arrows, and I've got a crossbow on my left arm, like it's attached, like she's got a crossbow arm, and she's now Red Jenny.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
My ending.
So you changed class from warrior to rogue?
From mage to rogue, apparently, yeah. What, you can't learn
weird.
to shoot a crossbow?
Yeah, mages can shoot a crossbow.
Not in Dungeons and Dragons, but, you know, in real life.
My
In
ending,
real life.
My ending said that the Inquisitor often has dreams of the Dread Wolf just watching her, but when she wakes up, he is never there. But we know that Solus travels through dreams, so I assume that that's just like some Twilight shit that he's pulling.
He's stalking you, is what you're saying. He's stalking you.
Yep, he's stalking you.
I did get some end stuff with Dorian. He went back to Deventer. His father had died. He took over as a whatever, Magus. I don't know.
Magistrate.
Magistrate.
Yeah,
And,
sorry, I didn't realize you weren't finished.
he took over as a magistrate, and it talks about how we still talk to each other via our radio crystals, and how sometimes rumors have spread that the Inquisitor shows up in Deventer to help out his Atus or something, whatever their pet name is for each other.
Aww. I don't know.
I guess, it's fine. I don't need a happy ending, but it was kind of a bummer.
And my ending, it was like, and nobody ever knew why that old Iron Bull turned on his friends. But I guess we'll never know because he's dead
too.
now.
Yeah.
I got that he... Oh.
Sorry. My ending was that Iron Bull often travels to the edge of Deventer, where he has spent some special time with a certain magister.
My ending is that Iron Bull is hanging with his besties, the Chargers, and they're keeping the peace in Thetis.
I also got that ending card where it said that Dorian had been kidnapped at one point and then was rescued by an unnamed mercenary band led by a Telvishoth warrior.
That's cool.
Yeah, it had a little drawing of Dorian being scooped up into Iron Bull's strong, capable arms.
Is that? I thought
clear, you get ending cards for literally every character, and frankly, it goes on way too long.
That one ending card.
Varric went back to Kirkwall and ruled as a Viscount. And
Vanessa
Vivian started a circle of magi, but also a college of magi got started.
Well, the college and the circle they're feuding, right? So now there's two circles, basically. But Vanessa sent us the card of Iron Bull holding Dorian. It does look like he's fucking Dorian. Like, I thought that at first that's what the picture was.
Excuse me?
It looked like Dorian.
And
Don't talk about my fucking boyfriend like that, John.
It's a graphic drawing of
it really
Iron
looks
Bull
like
just railing Dorian.
Like, because it's from kind of from
anal penetration.
It's this weird 3/4 view, and you see like Dorian's on his back, looking up at Iron Bull, and Iron Bull's like got him real pressed up against his crotch. Like, how would you? That Vanessa, that is a card.
Big black eye and a big cut on his cheek. Unless they're having
things get a little rough.
More than a little, I would say. It gets pretty graphic, and then it actually animates, and Dorian turns to the screen and he says, "I love Iron Bull so much more than Brawny Jandon."
And there's weird squishing sounds.
Yeah.
That's the sound it makes.
Any other special
And then
endings?
we get the best credit ever.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about it, Matt.
No, I can't. Tell us about it, Johnny.
Tom Rainier went on to be a Grey Warden and help people and make toys for kids.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm glad he's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any other funny ones? Because Sarah and my Inquisitor went to do mischief.
Mine said that Sarah basically left the Inquisition with no more ties, except for Dagna, who she called her Whittle. It says,
what was that?
I don't know, but that was gross.
Hey, pet names are pet names.
Cole goes on to travel the continent with his bard girlfriend that came out of nowhere, and it was like, and everywhere she played her songs, all the people felt their pain and sorrows wash away.
Yeah, I got that.
That was weird. That was weird.
Yeah, mine
Cassandra
was just the spiriting around.
Cassandra for me was just like, oh, she's served with the divine for a long time.
For me, she was on the Exalted Council, and But yeah, let's talk about those end credits because they are great. Vanessa, what happens?
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
So the credits scroll.
You really don't?
And then you start getting some voiceover from Cassandra, and she is reading lines from Varric's account of the
was
Inquisition.
It called, Is This Shit Even Real? Because that's what my book was called. Because I told him to name his book that at the end of the game.
I told him not to name his book that, but I'm not sure. It was something. I didn't catch it.
Because Cassandra's like, Varric, that's an awful title.
Mm-hmm. She's got like a French accent, and I know you can do that.
Varric, this is an awful title.
That's
I can't
perfect.
do her accent.
That's perfect. And she continues to basically read like lines from each character in the game, each companion in the game, and then comment on like how close that was to the person. Like when she does Iron Bulls, she's like, she reads the line. It's all like, it's very, Jim should have loved this because it was very Alan Wake of like overwritten, like overwrought prose.
I was thinking about Alan Wake because the joke is that Varric's a terrible writer.
But that's the joke in Alan Wake.
Funny.
I know.
Yeah, I don't feel like that joke that was supposed to be a joke in the first one. but it definitely is in the second one.
Yeah, because she's like, because Iron Bull, I love her Iron Bull voice too. It's like, oh, let's go back to the I can't. Yeah, it's a very hard voice to do because you're doing a French woman doing an impression of an American deep voiced man. Let's go back to the bar with the woman with the nice rack.
And she's like, oh, Varric, that's spot on. It's fucking delightful. I've never sat through an end credit in my life. I listened to the whole thing. And the very last one, she finally gets to herself. And it's very like sex pot bullshit. Mm-hmm. And she's like, Varric, I can't believe you put me in the book. I'm going to read the shit out of this. Is the last line of the game.
Yeah, that's great.
That's not an exaggeration. That's what she says. I'm going to read the shit out of this.
It's delightful, and what a great game. What a great time with all of our Inquisition friends. And I hope to see them all next time on Square Roots when we play Dread Wolf in 2025.
In 2035.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Actually, they're going to try and remake Anthem again. So
Vampire
they've
the
canceled
Masquerade 2 is coming out. Everything's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I like it you get there's like a little stinger with your Inquisitor, and they're like, this is where we're going next, and he puts a knife into a map onto Tevinter, the Tevinter Imperium. And then what's hilarious to me about that is because it's meant to get you like all jazzed up, like, all right, let's go play the next one. It's like, see you in 11 years, idiot.
I do really want to see Tevinter, though. And
yeah, me too.
You know, there was a reason behind it. It was he was like the Inquisition is suspect. We don't know who we can trust. Let's go someplace where we know we can't trust anybody.
Yeah, I guess it makes
a
certain kind of sense. Yeah, I think in the next game it's supposed to go to Tevinter and maybe Navarra, where the Crow assassins are from. So we should be seeing lots of new places.
Antiva?
Antiva, that's the one, yeah.
That's right.
All right, well, next week on Square Roots, we are playing Bayonetta. Johnny, where are we playing to?
Oh, that's a good question, Matthew. Let me see.
Yeah.
I should have thought of this.
Boy, can we just say that we'll say it on the Facebook? Because whatever you say will probably be wrong.
Let me see. I'm just seeing how many chapters there are. All right, there's XVI chapters. So let's finish chapter 5, The Lost Holy Grounds.
These chapters go by quick.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, you know what? Now's time to reflect, like the mini alluvions that we found in this chunker, on our time with Dragon Age Inquisition. Vanessa, I assume that you are squarely against this game.
I love this game, and I'm not being hyperbolic. I think it's great. I really like to play it. I like the characters. I like the world. I like almost everything about it. Dragon Age Inquisition, 10 out of 10. Best game we've ever played for the show, except for maybe a handful.
Is it better than Dragon Age 1 and 2?
It's tricky. I think it's the most
tricky.
fun
Here we go.
to play, but I'm so in love with Alistair as a character that it's hard for me to rank this above Dragon Age 1. And Dragon Age 1, I hadn't really played anything like that at the time when it came out. So that was a totally different experience for me. Jim, are you roundly for or squarely against this game?
I'm roundly for this game, maybe not to the extent that you are. I think a lot of the political intrigue is just boring to me. Sorry, I don't hate it, but it's just not something that holds my attention very well. I will say playing the game is great. I like the gameplay of it. It's kind of repetitive, but I felt I don't know. It was just fun to play. Like, it was easy to pass time playing the game. I am excited for the next one. Like I said, like, this was the first PS4 game that I owned, so it was like my first like next gen console experience, and I thought this game looked amazing. It was super fun. I'm glad we went and replayed it. Matt, how do you feel about this game?
I'm roundly for Dragon Age Inquisition. I liked it. You know, I hate to sound like a broken record. Like, I had ups and downs. I was a little bored at first. I got into it. I got a little bored again. I was not thrilled to be playing fucking DLC. Like, that's just, yeah.
I understand, and I kind of felt that way, but then when it had an actual ending that the game never had, I was very excited.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say, is that the actual ending was great. And listen, the end of the game, before the credits, they do this great scene where the group, which is whoever's left, which for me was a smaller group than, let's say, Vanessa, who sent a screenshot to the group, and it was basically everybody. You know, it was a little different for me, but they all kind of walk off one by one as you like look over some vista, and Dorian is the first one to walk away, and then Vivienne, and then whoever else. They all kind of walk away and leave the Inquisitor, Barney Jandon, standing there alone. And then Dorian walks back into frame and walks up to the Inquisitor standing there and smacks him right on his ass. And that's when I realized I love this game. It's a great game. And I have to admit, when I did hit this end point, I did, it got a little dusty in my house, I guess. Like, I had to rub my eyes a little. I liked it. This is a great game. So, roundly 4.
Is there anyone else you'd like to hear from?
How about you, buddy?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I do feel this game is... I really like Dragon Age 2, but I had a lot of fun playing this. I do think that Dragon Age 2 plays way better on PC than this one does. The tactical mode in this one sucks. Like,
didn't use it once. I loved it.
What's weird is I used it all the time on PS4, but I think since then I played Baldur's Gate, I played Dragon Age 1 and 2 on PC, and now going back, this one's just, the tactical mode doesn't work well. Like, the camera gets caught up, you can't zoom out far enough. Maybe part of it's I'm using the extra stretchy monitor thing, and it might be zooming out more if I had a regular monitor. But it was just, the tactical mode's almost unusable, which sucks because that's how I like to play these games. But overall, I really had a lot of fun playing it. I like the characters a lot. I think that this game, I had more fun with it this time than the first time I played it. Maybe because I'm more into the story and the world now than I was originally. Playing as a lady was fun. Playing as Kunari was fun. The DLC was good. I do dislike that the game forgets that you're Kunari, but, oh well. Overall, yeah, really good game. One of the best games we've played. Maybe not as good as Dragon Age 2, but very close, I would say. Yeah, that's my hot take. Also really pretty. Like, it's 10 years old, but looks fantastic on my computer.
It does look great.
A lot of clipping bullshit. Like, when I was talking to Solus at the end, he kept looking to his left, but he had like a big chunky like fur over his shoulder. And his face kept disappearing into it.
He's just snuggling up in his big chunky fur.
Mm-hmm. When I was talking to Vidal Sassoon the first time, there was a character like walking around her that was getting like lost around her. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I noticed when I put it on casual mode that the way that casual mode works is that they make the AI, well, I guess I shouldn't say AI, whatever you call enemy
AI. Yeah, that's what they call it.
Enemy AI. They made it very stupid, and enemies would just wander off. And in fact, it was kind of a pain in the ass because I would be in a fight and I would kill everybody around me and everybody would still be all geared up to fight and I would be trying to move on and I would realize, oh, there's one dude just walking into the wall that I have to go stab in the face.
All right. I think that's everyone. Let's move on. Now that we're roundly 4 squarely against this game. Vanessa, what's our Patreon?
The Patreon is a place where you can go to get even more content and support us, your very favorite classic RPG podcast. There are rewards for joining the Patreon. At the $5 tier, you get access to all of our bonus content and the right to vote on upcoming games. That's right, it's a poll tax. At the $3 tier, you get access to all of the bonus content with no voting rights. If you don't care what we play next, that could be the tier for you. And at any level, we will happily thank you on the show. At the end of almost every episode, there's a rotating schedule. We can't thank all of you at once as much as we'd like to. And this week, I'd like to kick it off by thanking Aaron Nerd Violence Little, John B. Quaker Oatman, Nawford, Arthur A., Jake Dickerson, Joshua Rose, Robert T., Lexavarial, Jason Timms, Ben H., Matt Insert Clevin. Oh wait, I have to do it. Matt
Headwolf Jorgensen.
Ah, that's a good
You know
one.
what I'm saying?
Oh.
Matt Headwolf Jorgensen and Dr. Fine. Say everyone's name.
I'd like to thank, for Square Roots Podcast, I'm Stim Stanks. I'm Star Drifter, Justin Rash, Sergeant Spaghetti, Vanessa's mom, David Arnold, Chad Wilson, RP Siege, Make Gaia Great Again, Ian Frederick, Wishbone is Gay, and Seattle Sounders will host Club World Cup in 2025.
I'd like to thank Ross Hartley, Omen Ran, Do Good Recklessly, Sean Walsh, Gage, Latch, Aright, Spoony Bard, Justin Ham, Mary, Queen of Scoffs, Amanda Douglas, Seth G, 4 Monk Party Just Wins, and Arm & Hammer.
I'd like to thank Chris Parsons, Andy, Cerulean, Chris Sasaki, Ari Corpivara, Wash in the Wind, Ron, Joshua W. Broxson, Tom J-Bone, Amanda Perez, or Amanda Pyres, DP299, Fei Fong Dong, and Rubber Bear.
All right, that's it for this episode of Square Roots. If you'd like to send us an email to have read on the air, you can do so at squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. Come see us at our Facebook group, the Square Roots Podcast group for smart, cool, very attractive people, or you can find us on Twitter at Square Roots Pod.
I'd like to thank, please rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. Ghana, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks to Stephen Morris for our Square Roots theme. You can find Stephen on X as Beige on Beige and on YouTube. Links in the show notes.
All right, for Square Roots, I'm Jim Banks.
I'm Matthew Van Zant.
I'm Johnny Brandon.
And I'm Mrs. Dread Wolf.
Aww.
Bye.
You're
Bye.
more of
See you later.
an ex-girlfriend than Mrs.
How dare you? We're still in love.
Bye.